Prepare yourself for Earthling Entertainment, the perfect blend of paranormal and pop culture, with your host, Joe Wakefield and Ryan Lang.
Hello, and welcome to the 100th episode of Earthling Entertainment with Joe Wakefield and Ryan Lang.
That's right, Ryan, and I'm your host who's trying to figure out if it counts as grave robbing if it's a pet cemetery, Joe Wakefield.
I'm pretty sure it does. Hi, I'm Ryan Lang.
Only if rich people buried, like, expensive jewelry on their animals, which I imagine has to have happened at least once.
The pets are priceless, Joe.
I'm
They're
serious.
so fluffy.
No, but think about it. Are you going to get in trouble for grave robbing, or is there some other thing? Is it just destruction of property? Is it desecration of a corpse? Does that count when it's a chinchilla?
I think it does.
You think it does?
I really do.
All right. Well, guys, if you are returning listeners, holy crap, we made it to the 100th episode.
We did. Over 2 years, sir.
That's right. Thank you so much for joining us here. And if you haven't already, please, I always say download the episode, but you know what I'm going to say? Leave us a review. Leave us a review on Spotify or, any of them.
Yeah.
What is it? We got Apple Podcast. We have Audible. We're all over the place.
You name it.
Yeah, but just tell the world how you feel about Earthling Entertainment. If it's positive, and if it's not, you keep your damn mouth shut.
Yeah, you keep that to yourself, man.
So
Hurt our feelings.
if you guys are new listeners, welcome. 100th episode. Boy, you picked a crazy episode to start with because we're setting the bar kind of high. This episode's jam-packed, guys.
Why you got to put the pressure on like that, Joe?
I know. Well, I'm just saying, we have planned so much for today. And I don't know. I guess I'll just tell you, new people. What we do here is a little bit of the spooky, a little bit of the creepy.
Okay.
Now, sometimes that's cryptozoology. Other times it's a haunting, a myth, or a legend. But it's always spooky. And that's why it's in our section called Spooky Stuff. Then we have a segment called Disclosure Discussion. Now, that one's all about aliens.
And I'm just asking questions about extraterrestrials, UFOs, any old stories, any legends, tales about certain alien species, which we might actually get into today.
Nice. People have requested reptilians, so I figure that's coming down the pipeline too. But guys, after that, we have something called Real World Weird, and that exists because sometimes weird things happen.
All the time, actually.
Yeah, right. But it's not quite supernatural. It's not quite aliens. It's just kind of odd. And that's our section for that, Real World Weird. Then the second half of the show, the latter half, if you will, is all dedicated to pop culture and entertainment. Yeah, sometimes we have celebrity guests. Other times we have trivia games, or we have celebrity deaths. We talk news, genre news, audio dramas. I mean, it's jam-packed of entertainment. And if you like that kind of thing, especially leaning towards the genre kind of subjects,
nerdy stuff,
you're gonna love the second half. And then those two things combined, our first half of the show, which is all spooky and crazy, and our second half, which is all entertainment and pop culture, formed together in the delicious chocolate covered peanut butter ball of a podcast known as Earthling Entertainment. By the way, do you remember those in high school?
I was about to say, that's my favorite analogy you've done so far.
What, the chocolate covered peanut butter ball?
I almost bought moon pies today because I saw them at the store on the counter.
Because
I'm
normally
like,
say we're the
pies?
moon pie of the podcast.
And I'm like, I should have bought it. But they were banana, and that sounds disgusting.
Fair enough. Is moon pie actually a good enough analogy? Because if you think about it, there's 3 ingredients, right? Because you got the cream, and then you got the cake, and then you have the chocolate over it. So,
I mean, we're multi-layered. I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it works. It works. we're not just one of those podcasts where
cakes have layers, onions have layers.
That's right. Not everybody likes onions. But no, we're not that kind of podcast. We're not just gonna sit here and ramble. No, we got shit to do.
We do. And guys, like I said, it's the 100th episode. So today we have a very special guest interview, Lyle Blackburn. He is a cryptozoologist and author. We'll tell you more about him later. We have an audio drama at the very end of the show. This one called the Snail Mount Derby. Whoa. It is about racing snails determining the leadership.
I love this one.
Yeah, a lot of fun, right? Yeah. And God, we even have a quiz, but instead of it being in our pop culture section, we decided that we were going to do a little bit of a cryptid quiz. So
Yes.
Ryan's going to test what he's learned over the last 100 episodes. And
I'm sure it'll be a lot.
it will be a lot.
I'm sure I'll do great.
So a lot of fun today, guys. And yeah, so let's just start off with a little bit of a message.
The podcast known as Earthling Entertainment premiered its first episode on August 16th, 2023. We started off with many reoccurring subjects, such as the 1993 Super Mario Brothers movie,
Which is, of course, the greatest cinema achievement of that generation. I will die on this hill, damn it.
He certainly will.
You know what's funny? I actually had someone tell me that they stopped listening to our podcast because of my opinion on that movie.
That's amazing.
I don't want people to stop listening, but I did take that as a little badge of honor.
I mean, I'm just saying, come on now. Come on. This is all in fun. Star Wars
Of course.
and many other nerdy franchises. But the staple of the show has always been the big two, the spooky and the extraterrestrial.
That's right. It's actually why we started this thing. Ryan and I were
Yep.
discussing, if we were to do a podcast, what would we want to cover? And, obviously the paranormal, spooky stuff, aliens, all of that came to mind. And, then we thought about how we stand out. And this is what we got. We came together with this double-edged sword of entertainment and supernatural. Couldn't be happier with this guy.
And they said it couldn't be done. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
it's one
like
of the.
4 guys we told that weekend said, you guys can't do that shit. We showed them, Ryan.
Well, I'm just saying, like, because we want to do what we want to do. And that's what you get from us. And we wanted to cover aliens. We wanted to cover creepy shit, like whether, ghosts and stuff like that. But we also are big nerds, so we want to talk about shit that interests us as well, like in entertainment.
Yes,
Like
we have an affinity for genre pieces, would be the way of saying that.
and I love video games and I love music. We made Music Mumbles a part of the show. So much has grown since we started. We've added so many different things.
We certainly have.
To truly dive into the spooky, we have covered topics from around the world, whether it be the paranormal, a cryptid, or just old legends. Each Spooky Stuff segment has been a journey into the unknown. Favorites such as the Wendigo, the Nuckleby from Scotland, the truly unsettling black-eyed children, or the legendary Bigfoot make this one of our favorite parts of the show, and we have barely just scratched the surface. We had the pleasure of hosting our own table at the 3rd Annual Cryptids and Paranormal Conference in New Jersey on June 7th, 2025.
That was a blast. We got a bunch of random merch. I still have about 100 tote bags. I was thinking I'm going to go to like a farmer's market. Just give them out, man. I don't know. We'll figure that out
awesome.
later. But it was great because there was just so many people that we talked to, and we got all these keychains and stickers, and everyone loved it. And a lot of fun. Spinny prize wheel.
Yeah, we did, and we got a lot of new followers, and we followed a ton of people back. A lot of really talented people were there. It's really cool.
Yeah, we had our boots to the ground. We're meeting the public.
That's right. That's right. We had a wonderful experience and talked to so many people that had incredible stories to tell. Disclosure discussion is, of course, all about aliens. Everybody knows Area 51, but the truth of how many credible sightings of UFOs and extraterrestrials has been mind-blowing. All the way from Russia came the Red Orb UFO, which is considered to be their very own Roswell incident.
Yeah, you know what the big one is for me right now is the possible spaceship coming to Earth. Like,
That's
can
right.
you imagine? Like, they say it's going to be here in a month, 2 months, something like that. But what if it is an alien? Like, this would just be so weird to like look back at and be like, yeah, one of the biggest things, a month before the biggest thing to ever happen to humanity. Holy crap, I hope they're nice. They're probably not because I'm sorry, they're probably not. But I hope they're nice, Ryan.
Yeah, they're probably not. You're totally right. And I don't know about the credibility of this stuff, but like I've heard so many crazy reports. Like supposedly they can tell that it is releasing what is it? What's in farts? What is that? Methane.
What's in farts?
What's in farts? So
I mean, maybe there's just a bunch of dead, rotting animals in the center of it, and it just comes out like a rock fart, Ryan. It might not be a spaceship. It could be a spaceship. We could die.
And supposedly it has been seen giving off its own light. I have heard as well.
It's
I don't-
just reflection from the sun, Ryan. We could like lie to the public until it's at our front door. It's fine.
So we will see.
Yeah, we will see. Oof.
We also investigated the infamous Black Knight satellite, as well as mysterious messages intercepted by Nikola Tesla, and even mummified alien bodies from Peru. Remember that?
Oh yeah, yeah. Covered a lot of things.
During our reign, we saw Congress having hearings about extraterrestrials and UFOs, which has been a good sign that it's finally losing the taboo for people to speak out about what they've seen. Even the Air Force, we have found, is now giving a comfortable environment for pilots to speak out about their own UFO encounters, which happens often from what I hear. My girlfriend's a flight attendant, and she talks to pilots all the time, and it's a regular thing. It just happens.
You know what? The only thing crazier than this happening and people coming out and saying it is the fact that the government has done everything short of being like, no, aliens are real. We don't know what these things are. And the entire world's just like, meh, we don't care. Like, no one seems to care, Ryan.
No, well, it's like everybody's just like, do I have to pay my rent?
I know the world's on fire,
Do
but
I
like,
still gotta-
Jesus Christ, guys, there's aliens.
Dude.
All right, fine.
Earthling Entertainment has been out here for over 2 years now. Your hosts, Joe and Ryan, get their unique perspective and chemistry from years of being good friends and big fans of the creepy, the unknown, and of course, all forms of nerdy entertainment.
If our podcast was a dog, then it would just be entering high school.
For this 100th
Math.
episode, we would like to thank each of our listeners for their continued support and open minds. Cheers. Here is to the next 100 episodes, everybody.
Cheers to the next 100. All right, if you hold on here. Let's actually
That's what's up. That's what's up. Cheers, brother.
cheers.
All right.
All right. You know what? I was joking earlier with Ryan that this is going to be a long episode, and then we came up with this funny idea of like, what if from now on for the next 100th episodes, every time we record an extra 10-minute segment. We put it all together. 10, 15, 20, maybe an hour segment if we have the time. But
That's
we
right.
put it all together at the end. And our 200th episode is just absurdly long.
That's right.
Like literally 22 hours of just random stuff. The longest episode. It'll be an endurance test. We'll call it the gauntlet.
If we do that, like I wonder if there's got to be like a record.
I don't know if there's a record.
There's got to be like a longest podcast record.
I don't know. I will say though that the whole point of this is to make a really tight, entertaining show that's incredibly long. Like, I don't expect people to want to listen to it in one sitting, although that would be insane. But we're not trying to do filler. It's not like we're just like sitting there with dead air, like humming. You know what I mean? Like the whole point would be like a very kind of poppy episode, which hopefully this is a very poppy episode.
I think
don't
it's
know.
gonna be, dude. This is gonna be sweet.
Absolutely. Let's jump into our first section. Spooky stuff.
The Pukwudgie. What are Pukwudgies, Joe?
I don't know.
These fey folk appear in legends from multiple tribes stretching all the way from Massachusetts to Indiana and remain an intriguing and mysterious part of the cultures in those lands today.
To be fair, that is what I was going to say.
So, what exactly is a Pukwudgie then?
Oh.
Native Americans believed Pukwudgies were real, and more than one person has reported seeing a real one in the natural world.
You know, that's good. Having more than one report, it bodes well for the existence of a creature. I remember there was the shrimp, which is from Japan, and it was this creature that had an eyeball in his butthole. And when he bent over, he would show
This
you
is a
his
favorite story of ours.
Yeah, well, long story short, there was one guy, one samurai who saw that thing, and everyone's like, oh, it's a legendary creature. Because one dude. So, these Pukwudgies, I'm happy there's at least a couple witnesses over the course of history. Is
I
all
agree.
I'm saying. Yeah.
Wasn't that on like the failed episode? Wasn't that the episode where we forgot to press record? Like we did like a whole episode.
Yeah, guys, if you want to hear more about the shrimp, look up the episode. I forgot to hit record. Yeah. Story behind that is I forgot to hit record.
But the good news is I'm sorry.
Anywho.
So let's go back. It should be noted that nowhere in the earliest stories are the Pukwudgies described as creatures, cryptids, or troll-like.
That came later.
Always, they're called little people or pygmy people. Furthermore, their tribal organization with handfuls of Pukwudgie forming smaller bands within a larger tribe mirrors the Wampanoags' own social organization, which again emphasizes their similarity to human beings.
Yeah, they had a culture, they grow things, they hunt, they have their own little houses. They were doing their own little thing. Not so much like animals, but like intelligent beings.
So Pukwudgie and the Wampanoag stories were never described in isolation, always in bands. This reflected the Wampanoags' own way of life, which for centuries comprised families and villages connected to a larger community. In Ojibwe folklore,
Ojibwe, I believe.
Ojibwe
Yeah.
folklore, there was a man called Wa Dice Ice Ahmed who remained the size of a child and withdrew into the woods to live along the mountains and rivers. He was the ancestor of all the Pukwudgies.
Can you imagine that though? Like there is someone, because this is a historical record of this guy, right? So
Yeah.
he presumably was born as I don't know the proper term. I don't want to say. I don't want to offend anyone. He's a little person. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's a little person.
So, can you imagine though? They like cast him out, and he just lives in the woods, and it created this legend. Or what if it's all true, and he was super kind of.
But they say like little persons, whatever that condition is, it doesn't like pass on.
Well,
like,
there's more than one version of the condition, and it totally passes on.
Yeah, it can, but it's not a sure thing.
No, it's not a sure thing. But yeah, weird little side note: Warwick Davis and his wife, who unfortunately passed recently, but they have two different versions of. I like one. I don't know the names of them. Little person, dwarfism, whatever the names are. They have two different versions. And when they had children, they had to actually go to a geneticist. And basically, what they figured out was, if your kid has one, great. If he has the other, great. If he has both, unfortunately, the child won't survive.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
So there's just a lot of and they had a few of those, and luckily they ended up having a couple healthy children as well. But the whole point is, if this creature, this man, this unfortunately possibly deformed Pukwudgie or progenitor to the Pukwudgie, if he did have any weird genetic defects, he could have passed them on.
That's true. That's a good point. So the most common description of the modern Pukwudgie described is as having a unique sheath of porcupine spines that run from the top of their heads all the way down their backs. In fact, when you see one from behind, you may mistake it for a porcupine that walks upright.
As sometimes they do.
I don't think they do.
No, not at all. That would be a little freaky.
Yeah, that would be quite freaky. I would think it was going to like shoot him. I know they can't, but like I would be like, is it about to like shoot him at me?
It's like, Ryan. Shit, it's a Pokemon.
That is a Pokemon. Dude,
Right?
it's saying true. No, saying slash.
It's amazing to me that you are closer to 40 than 30 and you have so much knowledge of Pokemon.
Dude, I know all the Pokemon. I've played them all.
Continue.
I want to be the very best, Joe. Like no one
ever
ever was. So you might
on that note,
you might mistake it for a porcupine that walks upright until it turns around and gives you the stink eye.
Oh man, I'm remembering, what was it, like the meme where you run up and it's the gopher that just turns its head. It's like, Donna.
Oh,
that was in the early 2000s.
Drama gerbil.
Drama gerbil.
The drama gerbil.
Drama gerbil.
Yep. That's classic.
Yeah, that is like, what's funny in meme culture? That is like the grandfather of memes. That is the progenitor of memes.
It was the it was
like
definitely
that guy, like the guy is the Pukwudgies region. I'm just saying. That coming full circle.
So most of the talk about Pukwudgies places them in the Freetown State Forest or Hockomock Swamp. Hikers and dog walkers who've encountered these beings describe them as troll-like humanoids.
Hominoids, right?
No, humanoids.
Humanoids?
Yeah.
I was thinking hominid.
I don't know why. Yeah, that's
Don't
what I thought.
Don't listen to me. I'm fucking wrong, Ryan. What's wrong with you?
who encountered these troll-like humanoids with gray skin and porcupine quills. They appear to be solitary beings in this talk, and they sometimes follow people home. So this is my...
Maybe that was just one that ended up being a stalker.
So,
'Cause they're all-
you hungry, little guy?
Well, no, I'm just saying they're all supposed to hang out in tribes, right? That's what they said. But there's one report of this creepy one that's just like, "Hey, I'm gonna follow you. What's up?
Hey there.
Can I come home? You
What's
got any
up?"
cat food?"
Where are we going?
That's an anime right there waiting to happen.
I mean, it is. It's already been done. Let's face it. Tales of Pukwudgie appear in Lenape and Wampanoag folklore and date back at least 9,000 years, marking them as one of the oldest mythical creatures in North America.
Recorded history, I mean, what they say Jesus was 2,000 years ago. So how, like, is it just because it's oral history, right?
Jesus ain't got shit on the Pukwudgie,
No, I'm just
dude.
saying, like, it's oral history, right? So they're just taking the word for it of like, how old is this? Oh, like, 9,000 years. Like, how do you know it's 9,000 years? Was there something written in a cave?
And just one chief's just like, give or take.
Give or take. It's fine. Look, it was a long ass time ago. Is the point?
Hey, these drawings are pretty old. You know what I'm saying? About 6,000 years, give or take.
Yeah. To be fair, the point is it's a very old legend.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we are
Around Middle Earth time.
Yes. Frodo was probably still waiting for Gandalf to come back. The mythical origins of Pukwudgies lie in a creation story told by the Wampanoag tribe and some other northeast Algonquian tribes. Algonquin.
Yeah, that one I actually know.
Thank you. These little creatures are believed to have originated in Hockomock Swamp in Massachusetts. This area had a reputation of being home to spirits for millennia. And it's no coincidence. It's located in Massachusetts. Yeah, how do you say possession with Massachusetts? Massachusetts notorious Bridgewater Triangle. Fuck it.
Yeah.
According to oral history of some tribes, the Pukwudgies originally tried to live in harmony with Native Americans, even help them. And humans didn't understand or appreciate the help. And
It's probably that we didn't appreciate it. Not that we didn't understand. We're a terrible species.
And the Pukwudgies eventually decided that humans were ungrateful and pieces of shit.
Yeah, it happens.
It says not worth helping, but I figured that ad lib worked.
I'm glad they finally got out of that abusive relationship, to be perfectly frank.
Well, and now they're giving us what's for.
Well, they pretty much do later.
The formerly friendly Pukwudgies felt especially spurned by the appreciation humans had for the creation giant of Cape Cod, Moshop. So they started being little pains in the ass, stealing food, throwing sand in people's eyes.
Yeah.
Those sorts of nasty tricks.
We call them the assholes of the forest.
I mean, we were the original assholes, so we're just getting what we deserve. Humans in the area complained to Moshop's wife, Granny Squannet, who relayed their gripes back to the giant himself. Moshop then asked the humans to gather up all the Pukwudgies they could find in the woods and bring them to him. The humans obliged, and Moshop collected and flung the captured Pukwudgies across what is now southern New England into the Great Lakes. Across New England into the Great Lakes region. Perhaps this is how Pukwudgies ended up all the way into Indiana.
All right, so to sum up real quick, Indian legend. These things were created in a swamp. They came out and they got a giant to throw them around in all the surrounding areas. He literally gathered up the creatures and just tossed them into other states.
Yeah, Moshop.
Yeah.
And Granny Squannet.
Yeah. So, just normal legend. It's the big fish of the Indian culture.
I mean, this sounds totally credible to me. In one version of the Pukwudgie...
What's the problem?
I don't know. I like making you kind of like laughed, so I don't know. It made me feel good.
Okay. Good. Glad I could do that for you, bud.
In one version of the Pukwudgie mythology, the little creatures returned with a vengeance.
Oh, shit.
After being so abused, the tricksters turned deadly. Now, instead of pranks, the Pukwudgie began kidnapping children, luring people to their deaths, and burning villages.
I mean, they were jerks when they were throwing sand in my eye, but once they took little Timmy, I'm like, we gotta draw the line.
Mushup sent his children to eradicate them again. The Pukwudgies lured them into a deep grass and shot them with magic arrows, killing all 5 sons.
Don't be an asshole to midget porcupine
You
people.
gotta watch out for those fuckers. In some versions, they may have even killed Mushup or Mushup's wife. Enraged, Squannet and Mushup attacked as many as they could find and crushed them. But many escaped and scattered throughout New England again. The Pukwudgies regrouped and tricked Mushup into the water and shot him with their arrows. Some legends say they killed him, while others claim he became discouraged and depressed about the death of his sons.
I mean, fair enough.
But after these events, Mushup disappears from the Wampanoags mythology.
God, I love mythology. It doesn't matter what people or what religion or what belief, there's always giants and crazy creatures and magical arrows. Like, you guys want to hear some crazy stuff. I'm going to mispronounce their holy book, but
It's okay.
There's an Indian book called the Mahabharata or something like that.
Oh gosh, I know this.
I know I'm completely destroying the pronunciation, but the point is it's a couple
Bhagavad
books.
Gita.
I think it's a part of it, or what I said is a part of your thing, whatever. The point is they're holy books of talking about different gods and different places. It's just amazing. And then the Native Americans here with this legend, I mean, I don't know. I guess I didn't have a point, and then I bought a hammer. I just really like mythology, man.
No, that's why when I stumbled upon the Pukwudgie, I was like, yes. Because I had like a whole legend to go with it, and I love that. I love that.
Yeah, well, because we grew up and we live in the United States, sometimes we forget that there's some really, really fascinating things that actually are from here, you know? And Native American legends and myths and creatures, I love diving into those.
And growing up in Boy Scouts, I always learned so much about Native American culture. It was a big part of Boy Scouting.
Good.
So, although they are only small creatures, legend said Pukwudgies are very dangerous animals. If you encounter a Pukwudgie, leave it be. Pukwudgies are still bitter about past grievances with humans.
Yeah, they say the same thing about fairies.
That's
you know,
true.
like they were used to interact with us, but we fucked. There's horror movies about that. There was M. Night's daughter did one recently, The Watchers. I'm not sure. I liked it, but apparently the rest of the world didn't. Go figure. You know what? I like so many movies that most people hate. It worries me when I'm like, hey, I'm making a movie. People will like this.
If it makes you feel better, most of the movies that you talk about, you know what I'm about to say. I've never seen half of them. I haven't heard of. Just saying.
Well, you know what, Ryan? You didn't go to film school and you're not cultured.
That's what I'm saying.
You're not cultured. Well, you know what? I'll say the same thing to you, Ryan. Half of the things you say about music and the musicians or albums you reference, I have no clue. You know what's funny? Pick what's a huge band. Black Sabbath, for instance. Besides Crazy Train, I can't name a single song.
I love you so much, but Crazy Train is Ozzy Osbourne.
See, there you go. That's my point.
Oh my God, did you just do that on purpose?
No.
That's amazing.
That's my point. So that is, so how much you know about film is how much I know about music, bud.
Dude, that was the best example you could have ever. Shake my hand, sir.
All right.
Like, my God.
All right. Whoopsie doodle. No, hold on. Ryan, looks like I just picked a whole garden of whoopsie daisies.
That's right. That's right. You did. So, remember that Pukwudgies are still bitter about past grievances with humans and can cause all sorts of problems if you bother them.
Yeah, fair enough.
So ignore them.
Don't piss off the Fae folk.
If you leave them alone, at worst, they'll mess with you a little. They are tricksters after all, but piss them off. And you could be facing serious or fatal injury as they may have magical abilities. We know they have poison arrows, and they have been known to kidnap people and lure people to their deaths.
Can you imagine? Like a Law and Order episode where they're like,
Dun dun.
What killed him? I don't know. Some kind of arrow. Looks magic.
Dun dun.
Oh, man. It's glowing green.
We're a bunch of assholes who take up a whole hallway with our conversation. That's all I think. In popular culture, in the Harry Potter series, Pukwudgie House is one of the 4 houses at Livermore School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, which is the North American counterpart to Hogwarts. Additionally, Pukwudgies are featured, which we've mentioned this before. I need to get cards from this game. The popular trading card game, which we've mentioned before, MetaZoo Cryptid Nation.
Yeah,
I need to get into that.
I agree that we need to get into that card game. And then when it comes to the Harry Potter reference, so the North American counterpart, I read all the books and I don't think they ever mentioned that. So I assume that was in like the Fantastic Beasts series. And I gotta like the American version, I feel like J.K. Rowling, like all her views aside, the reason why I don't like J.K. Rowling is because I feel like she made every American thing shitty. Like instead of mud blood, excuse me, mud blood. We have no mages. Like it's a no mage. That's definitely the weaker version of that. Although a house being a Pukwudgie is way cooler than Hogwarts because I was always Ravenclaw because I like the Ravenclaw and Griffin.
Oh, you're Ravenclaw?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Gryffindor seems like the thing that everyone's going to do because it's like the Harry Potter character is Gryffindor, so that's the one, right?
You already know mine.
Yeah. No one wants to be Hufflepuff for the most part. For the most part, Ryan, I know you're Hufflepuff.
I am offended.
I know.
I am Hufflepuff. There are things a badger, bro.
Most,
I've been the badger forever.
but most people aren't going to pick Hufflepuff. And then
The Hufflepuff are as strong as their weakest member. They are good people, man. Hufflepuff were the first to cast
okay, right.
a shot.
This is a hill you can die on later.
I will.
All right, so Slytherin are clearly the bad guys. So then your only chance is Ravenclaw for having something that's cool and not one of the main things. And they're all studious and, like smart professors.
Ravenclaw are the smart asses.
Yeah, and it's so you know what? Since I'm in the United States and I couldn't quite connect with a house at Hogwarts, I'm gonna Pukwudgie. You know what? That's it. I'm taking it all back. That's perfect, Ryan. It's perfect.
You be Pukwudgie, I'll be Hufflepuff. Hufflepuff.
What do you guys think about the Pukwudgie?
Dude.
Let us know. Is there an Indian spirit that you heard of that you would like us to cover? Hit us up on the
Please.
social medias.
That's right. Please hit us up at Earthling Entertainment Podcast at gmail.com.
Well, now it's time for one of those fancy celebrity guests we've talked about. That's right. I had a sit-down conversation with Lyle Blackburn, and Ryan's going to tell you a little bit more about him.
Lyle Blackburn is known for his work as an author, cryptid researcher, and musician. His early attraction to cryptid creatures with strange phenomena has resulted in a lifelong exploration of these subjects. He has written several acclaimed books, including The Beast of Boggy Creek and Texas Bigfoot. He is a frequent guest on radio programs such as Coast to Coast AM, and he has also appeared on numerous television shows, including Unexplained, Monsters and Mysteries in America, Strange Evidence, Finding Bigfoot, and The Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs. Additionally, Lyle is a founder of the rock band Ghoultown, which has released 9 albums to date. His music has found its way into movies, video games, and television. Notably, he was invited to write a song for the iconic horror icon Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, which aired on her nationally syndicated show, Movie Macabre. With that said, I'm sure all you Earthlings can see why we just had to get him on our show, and we couldn't be happier to share that conversation with you right now.
Hello, I'm sitting here with Lyle Blackburn. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for being here. We really appreciate it, especially since it's our 100th episode, and you're kind of the epitome of what we do on this show because we love doing the spooky and the paranormal and the pop culture and entertainment, and you kind of run right down the middle of both those lines with your music career and obviously all your work and writing in the cryptozoology department.
Right. Yeah, I love all those things. And yeah, congrats on 100 episodes. That's quite a feat. Really cool.
Thank you. Well, we genuinely appreciate that. So, I mean, I just kind of wanted to, scratch your brain a little bit about this whole thing. How did you get started with cryptozoology, and what was kind of your gateway into the world, if you will?
Well, for me, the first time I heard of a cryptid was in third grade. I got a book called Strange But True by Daniel Cohen. Little bitty book, and it had chapters on Yeti, Loch Ness Monster, and Bigfoot. And as I recall, that was the first time I had heard of that. I was already really into movie monsters. I just, ever since I could remember, I just loved all spooky things. So anything that was on TV or a movie that had a monster, I was all about it. I grew up hunting with my father. He was an avid bow hunter, so I was kind of connected to the woods. And then, so when I read about, creatures that allegedly, you could actually see in wooded areas or spooky lochs, I was like all in. So that was kind of where I started, and then I eventually saw a movie called The Legend of Boggy Creek that dramatized sightings of a Sasquatch-like creature in southern Arkansas, and that was only about 3 hours from where I grew up in Texas. I was born in Fort Worth, so it wasn't too far away. So that was, sort of ground zero, like, oh man, there could be something, much closer to me.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. We're located in Michigan, so I heard about the Melonheads and Dogman and all these other things that I didn't realize growing up until I started jumping into the world. So I know exactly what you're saying there.
Right. And it just everybody has that entry point where it's just sort of you open up a door and then all of a sudden you realize there is a massive amount of directions to go. There's so much cryptid history. There's sightings that have been going on for many years. No matter where you come in, there were already sightings and everything. So it just is a world that you can just sort of go down the rabbit holes, if you will, with whatever fascinates you, from creatures like Mothman to more pop stars like Bigfoot.
Right on. Which one is your favorite? Do you have a favorite cryptid?
Well, yeah, it's a tough one because I do like all manner of cryptids, but I mean for me I think the Legend of Boggy Creek, because it was a southern Sasquatch, and it drama. The movie is more kind of a horror movie slash docudrama, so it really played up the scary aspects of this, and it was true that the real reports that it was based on were this creature was kind of aggressive. So for me, being very specific, the Boggy Creek monster is my favorite and what I've done the most research on and kind of what I'm known for. But expanding out from that, of course, there's Bigfoot, but I love Mothman. I love that case.
Sure.
And even I wrote a book about the Lizard Man. I sort of have this thing about swamp swamp monsters or swampy locations. So Lizard Man was another favorite. But there's great aspects about all of them.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of fun ones in the swamp. I like the more unique one. There's one in Australia called the Binyip, and that one is just kind of like a weird, what is it, tusted hippo thing. It's creature that means evil demon in the Wampa Wampa language. It's very cool.
Right, yeah, and those are some of the more obscure ones that probably don't get as much love. There's probably not a Bunyip festival or anything like there is a Mothman festival. Maybe
Sure,
there
yeah.
is, but there could be. But yeah, I love those cases, and it just seems like lately I was looking into some other ones that I knew about, wasn't too familiar, like Owl Man, which
Ooh.
is a case from the UK back in the 70s, and I heard of Owlman, but I really started, just exploring what the so-called sightings were and things like that. And so there's always another cryptid that you can dig back and find the information about.
Oh yeah. Well, it's like an endless well, which is half the fun here. I mean, you've written several books. Is there something that what do you think you might want to explore next if you were going to if you can go anywhere in the world, what cryptid would be your golden goose, if you will?
Yeah, that's something where usually I let the flow of life dictate that. And
Makes sense. Yeah.
traditionally, many of my books, like the Boggy Creek case, the Bishopville Lizard Man, Momo, the Missouri Monster, Lake Worth Monster, my latest book, they're deep dives into these cases that have a lot of components to them. It wasn't just a couple of sightings; it was numerous sightings. There was, a lot of newspaper and press coverage. The media went crazy, and oftentimes the law enforcement was involved, and there would be organized posses, and they'd go into the woods. And I mean, it's like stuff some of these are older cases, it's hard to imagine like that happening now, but at some point, people took it seriously and they would plunge into the woods and, sheriffs would listen to your sighting report. And so one thing is kind of just keeps coming on my radar is what I guess, Beast of Whitehall. There's
Sure.
it's like a Bigfoot case from Whitehall, New York, which is quite far from Texas. But again, it's sort of things circle around. I met a woman um, who had lived here in Texas, and when she was younger, she had this really dramatic sighting there near Whitehall in the Adirondack Mountain foothills, where a lot of the early sightings took place. And, now I'm talking to a first person witness, and then, I've kind of some of that has come across my radar. So that's one that did have a lot of sightings and some press, and they have like a festival up there now. So it kind of fits the bill. So that's kind of one I've, been looking at lately.
That's awesome. I love that, man. I mean, I want to dive a little bit more into your experiences. So when you gone out there, let's say put your boots to the ground, is there anything that you experienced that you would consider significant as far as evidence or anything that pushes your belief along the road?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, for me, some people like I think get into this because they had a sighting, and then you have people who are just fascinated by it. And I'm one of those persons, where I learned about cryptids, and because I was sort of an outdoorsman, I hunted with my father, and I just love camping and adventure. I've been to numerous locations around the US, swampy locations, mountainous areas, and been out there. And so, of course, over the years, things have happened that, you know, that I would consider significant, which sort of the best was an actual sighting. Now, prior to that, one of the craziest ones is when I was in the Ocala National Forest in Florida some years ago and heard something hitting on a piece of metal, which is odd, but it was out there like a can or something in the woods. And I chased that thing through the woods for a good distance till I realized I'm going to get lost, and it just stayed one step ahead. So you have those times where something howls at you or you're chasing it and you just can't quite get your eyes on it. But as far as the sighting, this I've had a few sightings where I'd say possible, but this was one where there's no denying what I saw. And this was in 2024, actually. And this was in the area of Boggy Creek, where I've been countless numbers of times. And that's in southwest Arkansas in what's known as the Sulphur River Bottoms. And it's a very heavily wooded lowland habitat where it's swampy, just kind of right out of a Scooby-Doo movie almost.
Nice.
And I was there with two others, and we were, to make a long story short, we were looking for this purported boneyard, or where someone had told me that they saw piles of hog bones and deer bones thrown into a pile by this swampy lake. And I thought that's kind of strange. So, I wanted to find that. Well, I hiked around the circumference of this huge, just very swampy lake. I mean, it's got cypress trees, there's alligators, the whole thing. We did not see that, and it was getting later towards the evening, and the two folks I was with were about 20 yards behind me, kind of just talking. We just sort of, by now we're just sort of loosely walking around, and I walked up a game trail, and in doing that, I try to move quietly. I don't make a lot of noise in the woods. I just kind of the hunter in me, and I was moving pretty quiet, and I hear what sounded like footsteps. And of course, that brings your attention. I hear something in the leaves. I turn and I see sort of a black shape sort of come out of this heavy brush behind some trees. And the first thing I thought was that it's a hog. There's a lot of big boars and wild hogs in there. But
Yeah, sure.
then within a second, I saw the full figure come out from behind that brush, and it was walking upright. It was very tall, uniformly black. And when you see something walking on two legs, we were way out there. We've been hiking about 3 hours. We were getting towards back to the Sulphur River where there's nothing out there. And so when you see something walking, it's kind of shocking. And then when you realize that's not a person, and it went it went between, a clear space between the trees and the brush for maybe 3 to 4 seconds. And that's as much as I saw it. It went out of sight. And now I had basically two options. Either I wanted to run after it so I could just get more time to look at it, or I could tell my associates there. And I thought, well, if they see it, then there's other witnesses. So I chose that option and ran over there and tried to tell them I had seen something, which created some noise and some delay. And then by the time they kind of figured out, oh my gosh, I was serious, then we kind of walked down towards where I last saw it, and we looked through that whole area, and whatever it was just gone.
Ooh.
So I presume that the noise I must have made or the delay, it was alerted to our presence if it didn't already know, and then just took off. And there's a lot of leaf litter right in there where I saw it, so we didn't see any evidence of footprints or anything like that, unfortunately. But that was pretty clear sighting, and it was it was exciting, but a little spooky once you
Yeah.
sort of calm down and so.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, you talked about the Beast of Boggy Creek just this year, right? In January on Expedition X. That that was the same experience you're referring to, right?
Oh yes, right.
That's
I had filmed
fantastic.
that show. Oh my gosh, we filmed that way back in uh, summer of 2024, and and yeah, they actually reenacted my sighting, which I thought was funny because
Always cool, yeah.
you had to have a guy in a black hat with drawn on with a mustache and stuff. But yeah, that was the sighting that got reenacted on TV.
Did you ask to play yourself, or did it not even come up?
I didn't really even know, like, when I
What they would do, yeah.
yeah, because I mean most of these shows, if they cover the Fouke Monster, Boggy Creek case, they'll have me on just as a sort of the historian or whatever to talk
Sure, of
about
course.
the case. But in this case, they did have me talk about the sighting, and I don't remember if they told me at the time or kind of afterwards. They did say we're going to reenact it, and I thought, okay, that's going to be cool. And and then the mayor of that little town of Fouke, he messaged me, he goes, the film crew is up here and I saw him, like it was like this guy dressed up like you and they were filming it. I go, oh, that must be the reenactment. So it was cool. It's kind of an honor, but that was a cool show.
That's fantastic. How close did they get it? Do they have a guy that looks enough like you?
Well, the hat wasn't folded up well on the sides like mine, and I don't have my mustache connected at the bottom. It's not like a goatee. It's like a bandito mustache or whatever you want to call it. But
Sure,
they
sure.
drew it in at the bottom. Like, not totally accurate, but it was kind of blurred out anyways, and it was only for like a few seconds, so it served its purpose.
Well, see, there you go. You got to tell your people though that next time you do one of these shows, if there's any reenactments, it goes in your contract that you can do it. It's all ADR. You don't have to act. It's fine.
Right, I can totally do it. I just, yeah, it would have been actually way more accurate. So I think next time, but it was, in a way, it's like just the kind of funny part is them trying to have somebody look like me. So that, I can check that one off. But you're right. Next time, it's like, dude, I'll do the reenactment.
Well, was how similar was that to your experience doing the Unexplained, the William Shatner show? I mean, was it similar to you just doing the talking head interview, or was there anything else that stood apart?
The unexplained it's actually a little harder to do. And that is the more of the talking head, rather than out in the field. When
Sure.
I'm out in the field, it's a little more natural, but when you do the unexplained, they often have you cover multiple segments. So it could be multiple monsters, and they they sort of throw that at you like, here's what we're going to ask you about. And most 90% of it I'm familiar with. I mean, I may not know dates off the top of my head, so you got to do a little study and familiarize yourself. But then then you're on camera and they're asking you questions, so it is, you got to really have a lot of knowledge in your head to do those shows, and be able to sound authoritative and convincing, and to get across the information accurately, because you're like, okay, I want to say this really well, so you do your best, but it it's it is a little bit of work.
Oh, absolutely. Just not repeating yourself, not taking weird pauses, not saying too many times. We're on the 100th episode, and me and my co-host still check each other on it, so it
Right.
happens.
I mean, it is natural to say and you try to be conscious of it. And then of course, having done television like that, when I'm watching a newscaster on, CBS News or whatever, I notice things like that. I'm like, that guy's a pro. He shouldn't say so many times.
Caught him off guard or something.
Right. I mean, it's like, I'm assuming he makes a career out of it. So, he should really be good.
For sure. Well, so you're from Texas, as it says in your bio, and you've mentioned before, and you wrote a book about the Texas Bigfoot. Could you tell me a little bit about that and your experience, maybe some research you did, anything worth mentioning, if you might add?
Right. That was another one where, I really kind of came to the conclusion that I should be the guy that writes this book because, I've researched a lot of the history of Bigfoot sightings in the state, and I've interviewed people personally. I know a lot of the players that had been involved in some of the best cases. So that was one that over the years I just sort of compiled files of significant encounters or newspaper articles from the past that, talked about, some of the dramatic cases. And, I think for a lot of people as well, Texas is not something you think of when you think of Bigfoot. Of course, Pacific Northwest, you might even, Florida has the skunk ape, Ohio has the Ohio grassman, a lot of sightings. But Texas, unless you're just familiar with Bigfoot history, you probably don't think much about that. And people have a misconception about Texas that it's sort of like this cowboy landscape, like it's all ranches and wide open. And certainly
It's all
we
desert.
have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what the movies made us believe, right? Every time we saw Texas depicted in a Western, it was that Red Dead Redemption landscape, if you will.
Oh, exactly. And, that's kind of what Texas is known for. And, it's such a huge state that we literally do have the arid Trans-Pecos Desert out in the far west near El Paso. But if you get over to all the way to the east, the eastern third of Texas is known as the Piney Woods, and it is heavy pine forest. There's even swamps. I mean, of course, our neighbor there is Louisiana, the Bayou State. So when you get over there really close to the border, it gets real swampy. And if you kind of if you were to overlay a map of Bigfoot sightings in Texas, you would see that probably, you know, 85% of them are in the piney woods in that eastern third. So that makes a lot of sense, rather than, the stuff in the wide open. But I did find cases like that, and those were almost the most bizarre or interesting, where you would have these sightings just sort of in places you don't kind of think of as Bigfoot habitat. But yeah, it was a great exploration in the book. I mean, I couldn't even include everything that's ever, been reported here. I just tried to get a good cross section of the best stuff and the best cases and cover all the geography of Texas, which is huge. So,
Sure,
if I
sure.
was
Well, you got to hold back a little bit because there's got to be a sequel eventually. You know what I mean? The new information or the updated sightings since the last publication.
right, yeah, which could certainly happen because there's just a lot. I figure if I was doing Rhode Island Bigfoot, see, it would take me about, a day and then the book would be written. Texas,
It would be a
no.
pamphlet.
Right, right. So Texas is a whole nother matter. And yeah, certainly there's always something else and always more that you can add to the history.
Absolutely. So, you travel a lot. You do a lot of conventions. We actually met at the third annual Cryptid Conference, in New Jersey, and I assume that's just something you're an old hat at. You're used to it because of the fact that you're a musician. You've been in a couple bands. I know your last band had like 9 albums to this date. And it's what you do. So, tell me, while on the road, have you ever have they ever crossed paths? Did you ever play at a cryptid festival or something along those lines?
Well, in a way, the band is just sort of lives in a separate world
Sure.
from the cryptid universe. And I mean, my band Ghoultown sort of has this old west, dark western kind of Johnny Cash meets Rob Zombie vibe is the best way I can describe it. And I've kind of tried to write a few songs that were like about cryptids, but they just didn't sound right or didn't register right with that theme. But people, I get booked at conferences to speak about Bigfoot, and they do like, hey, you should bring your band. I'm like, well, to convince those guys to do a gig at halfway across the country, it's just trust me, it's not going to be worth the investment there. And
Just
you know,
definitely two different worlds.
yeah, totally. So, but when it's, because I was already doing fairly big shows and doing touring around when I was in high school and then definitely in my 20s. Do having to do the whole band thing is way more complicated than like if I go to speak at the Cryptid Conference in New Jersey, it's like it's just me and it's so much easier. So that it's just like that kind of travel to me is not hard, even though, it it takes time and
Sure,
it
sure.
is work, but yeah, it just seems like, wow, I don't have to have there's not four other guys. I don't have to unload equipment. I don't have to do anything. I just go and hang out and talk about cryptids.
Absolutely. Well, forgive me for the left turn, but our audience, as I mentioned, is both supernatural, paranormal, and entertainment. And I love the fact that a lot of your stuff kind of goes more. You mentioned Rob Zombie influence, and you even did a thing with Elvira. Is that correct? I know you were invited to write a song, and I'd love to hear a little bit more about that experience, if you don't mind.
Oh, sure. Yeah, it's one of the things I get asked about a lot. So this happened. This is a while back. This is like 2010. My band Ghoultown, we used to play a lot of horror conventions. Some of these horror conventions would have, you know, scary bands or horror related bands or whatever. And I love to do those because I just like to hang out and go to those anyway. So I thought, well, if the band plays, even better. So we were playing at one near our hometown of Dallas at this thing called Texas Frightmare Weekend. And Elvira, Cassandra Peterson, was like the featured guest there. And they had a VIP um, party or whatever. And we played that. We actually just played it kind of a stripped down acoustic version because it was more of a party, like where people hanging out.
Yeah, not really
And
the
anyway,
equipment set up for a full-on show or anything.
yeah, because I mean, these are in like hotels and things. But anyway, so she wasn't actually at the party, but her manager was. And so the next day, we went to our table. You know, they gave us a table to sell stuff. And somebody came over and said, I was walking around. Somebody said, hey, you need to get over to your table because Elvira wants to meet you. And I'm like, okay, yeah, funny.
Yeah, right.
That's real funny. That's funny. And they're like, no, no, seriously. She's on her way. And I'm like, okay. So I go to the table. Here she comes with her manager. And she said, hi, I just wanted to meet you guys. She said, my manager's been going on and on about how cool your band is. And so I had to come over here and check, meet you guys before I started signing autographs or whatever. And that just led to me talking to her. And of course, I was a huge fan of Elvira, so it was really cool. And one thing led to another. She's like, "Well, maybe you could write a song for me or something. We could do something together." I said, "That would be no problem." So I'm thinking, okay, this is cool. So after that convention, I went home on like Monday and I did a demo of a song. I think I wrote it in that one day and sent it to our manager, and they kind of they loved it, and that just eventually turned into we recorded the song, and then we actually went out to Hollywood to film a video with her, and we shot that at the Magic Castle, which is a famous place in Hollywood.
Oh yeah, I've
And we
been to the
shot our
Magic Castle. I could only go once though because I'm not a musician and I only knew one guy and no, but the point is great place. Sorry, didn't mean to
Yeah,
interrupt
no,
that.
no, that's cool. So yeah, you know that place. It's really cool. I got to explore it a little bit. Of course, we shot our video like in the basement or something,
Sure, yeah.
but yeah, so we went and shot that video, and I mean, it was just crazy. And we're acting in the video and playing, and there and with Elvira, and it was crazy. So that was that, and we just been friends ever since. And occasionally I'll see her at other conventions or whatever where we're both appearing. And but yeah, it's one of the greatest things. I mean, you can't put a price on that. Just having Elvira ask you to write a song and shooting a video in Hollywood. I mean, it's cool.
That's beyond awesome life experience. That's a checklist to say the least.
Absolutely. I mean, and
And
and that
also further proof that you could do the reenactments because you acted in that damn video. I'm just saying.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I literally have acting experience, and we've been in a few horror movies. Our music is used in some, but we were in a movie called American Nightmare. This was way back long. It was like 20 years ago. And yeah, we're doing some like well, I mean, we kind of played ourselves, but then we were doing like extras, and that's acting experience.
Absolutely, it is. I still have on my IMDb when I was a random bystander in like an LA noir thing. You never know. It's all counts, man. It all counts.
Right. There may be that one person that recognizes you. You're the random guy that was
You walked down the street that one time.
yeah, one time, man. Yeah.
Oh, well, you do so many things, and I had to ask, what is the deal with monster sauce?
I, I I do many things, probably too many things. I that kind of came around because, well, kind of because of Elvira.
Really? See,
The
perfect segue.
Yeah, yeah. Now that you mentioned that, the idea because um, I'm from Texas, and we do a lot of, hot sauce and salsas and all that stuff here. And I do, I'm, I'm a good cook and all that. So I just thought about, yeah, it might be kind of cool to do something like a hot sauce or whatever. And I'd seen some people, um, do things like that. Well, I saw Elvira came out with some hot sauces some years ago, and it was had a little kind of cartoon version of her on it, and it was, Elvira sauce or whatever. But I was like, man, that's what I want, some kind of cartoon version of me. And I just started looking around for someone who could team up and, help me bottle the stuff. And I worked with them to come up with the recipes, and I just created monster sauce, and it's just sort of a hot sauce. I mean, this is not a gimmick sauce. I mean, these are really good flavors, and then I just, created a similar type thing, and I started selling it at my appearances when I could, and selling it online, and people just loved it and really responded. So that just became a thing. Now it's sold at like most of the Bigfoot museums around the country and things like that. They'll order it, and carry it, and it's
I
fairly
mean,
successful.
yeah, why not? You know that your face, your brand, your cowboy hat, that is your brand. So you are associated with that world. So why not? It is a built-in product for anybody who has a UFO museum or a Bigfoot, field research area. It's fantastic. I don't want to say it sells itself. You'd know more than me, but I'd at least say there's a built-in customer base.
Right. I think it's intriguing. And again, everything I do kind of has some spooky aspect, cryptids in the woods, or my band has spooky things, and, monster sauce. So, everything I do is kind of related to that. And I mean, the good thing about it is when people try it, they do really like. I mean, we have three flavors: mild, medium, and a hot, like a more hotter habanero. So people can choose. But I'll get messages saying this is the best habanero sauce I've ever tasted, and I mean, that's pretty good for a guy that's not even like my career. I'm not that's just sort of a side thing.
Hey man, you got to diversify. You're doing great with that. But hey, you know what? I think that's a pretty good. I think we touched upon everything that I really wanted to touch upon. What are you doing right now? Is there any appearances or any books you'd like to talk about before we close up shop here?
Yeah, I mean, I have coming up in October, I've got quite a few appearances in Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, some of the Bigfoot and paranormal conferences there. I've been working on, I usually do this, it's kind of a juggling thing. I'm working on a book idea that I'm trying to get going, and also working on a new album for Ghoul Town. So it kind of it's nice because I can kind of juggle different creative processes, at the same time. Somehow that works. But yeah, if people want to go to my website at lyleblackburn.com, it's got a list of those appearances where I'll be around the country, and then of course all the links to the books and the monster sauce and everything else.
Well, fantastic. And the book you're working on right now, is that another research on a cryptid, or are you doing a novel of sorts? What is that one pertaining to? If you don't mind me asking.
Right. Yeah, it's a cryptid based
Fantastic.
book. I'm trying to it's kind of a series thing of where I can touch on, because like I said, a lot of my books in the past have kind of been very laser focused on a certain case. And then over the years, there's been, I've gotten reports of things that don't necessarily fit into those that are worthy of putting into a book, and there's other creatures I want to cover. So I'm trying to create something where I can be a little more diversified, with it, and kind of include some stuff that I haven't been able to by doing this more specific book. So kind of got that in work, and hopefully, I mean, I wouldn't say probably like early next year before I, have something out. It's about as fast as I work, but
Sure. That is just all very exciting. And I appreciate so much you being on the show, you taking the time. It was great talking to you. We had a lot of fun. So thanks for being here.
absolutely. And, again, congratulations on the 100th episode, and I'll be back for number 200.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? I'm not going to stop as long as circumstances don't stop us.
That's right. Just keep going. If you get something good, just stick with it.
That's right. Well, from all of us here at Earthling Entertainment, thanks.
Thanks a lot.
Well, one thing's for darn sure, that gentleman knows a lot about cryptid creatures. Ryan, do you think you know enough about cryptid creatures?
Me?
Yes, just in general, as over the course of 100 episodes that we've done, many of them featuring a cryptid creature, how much knowledge do you think you hold in that melon you call a head?
Well, melon heads would be envious. Let me tell you, because there is so much going on in here.
Okay.
Blow your mind.
Yeah, I feel as though it would. Anyways, guys, we're gonna do a Crazy Cryptid Quiz.
Crazy Cryptid Quiz, and he literally wrote it that way.
I did with the extra W's
He
and everything.
literally did.
I was thinking about doing like one of those audio clips and just be like be like do Crazy Crypto Quiz. What? But guys, when we've done this in the past, it's been usually pop culture, but it's the same as it normally is. We have a multiple choice 10-question quiz for Ryan. We're testing his might when it comes to crypto creatures, and we even have a little bonus round afterwards. So Ryan, how this is going to work is after those 10 questions, our bonus round, I am going to tell you that a name of a cryptid, and you are simply going to answer if it has wings or if it doesn't have wings. Each one is worth a point. So 10 questions, a point each. Then we have 15 cryptids worth a point each. That makes a possible 25 points at the end of this game. Do you think you have what it takes, sir?
Let me tell you, I don't. I'm kidding. But for real, if I failed miserably, that would be quite sad. But I swear.
Look, I think there's only one cryptid mentioned in this quiz that we haven't covered. So somewhere in your brain, there is all the information you need.
Okay. All right.
But we're going to jump right in.
Let's.
Ryan, are you ready for question number 1?
Dude, I mean, yeah.
What blood-sucking cryptid can split itself in half when hunting? Is it A, a Wendigo, B, a Mananango, C, a Papabawa, or D, the Rougarou?
It's either the Mananingal or the Rougarou, and I was leaning towards Mananingal, so I'm going to give it that.
Yes, Ryan, that is correct.
Yes. So I just knew it was those two, because the Wendigo is awesome, and the Papabawa is wild. I'll never forget that one. That's for sure.
That's for sure. If you guys want to hear about that one, just check out an earlier episode. It is a creepy one. All right. My Papabawa. All right. Well, you did good at the first one. What about question number 2? Ryan, which of these cryptids comes from Northern Virginia in the United States? Is it A, Goat Man, B, Mantis Man, C, Bunny Man, or D, Dog Man?
I'm going to say I got to go with Dog Man.
I'm sorry, that is incorrect. The correct answer is Bunny Man.
See, I knew it was one of the mans. Obviously, they're all mans.
Yeah, they're all mans. Yes, of course it was one of them.
But I knew it wasn't Mantis Man.
It's like trick question. It's none of them.
Mantis Man's from New Jersey. I knew that.
Yeah. All right. Well, so 50% so far, Ryan.
That's right.
Question number 3. What cryptid has the ability to dissolve itself into a puddle of its own tears? Is it A, the skunk ape, B, the Yatavo, C, the chupacabra, or D, the squonk?
The squonk.
That is correct, sir. Oh man, the squonk. Now that's a funny one.
Thanks, baby.
His girlfriend told him about that one. They have a squonk festival. Did you know that? Like a cryptid paranormal festival.
I
but
do
it's called
remember.
the Squonk Festival. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I really want to get involved with that one. Hopefully next year.
Well, I'll just cry. Let's just play
Maybe
the Cure.
they'll let us in if we cry.
Like the Cure is just blasting at all times.
Oh
like,
my
get
God.
in, loser. We're going crying.
Oh, that's good. Question number 4. Ooh. What cryptid has a vicious electricity attack much like a Pokemon? Is it A, the Jersey Devil, B, the Mongolian Deathworm, C, the Wood Devils, or D, a Jackalope?
Man, this is a good one because I'm honestly pretty dang stumped. It ain't the Jersey Devil. I don't remember the Mongolian Deathworm having any shock. So I'm going to have to go with Wood Devils because the Jackalope I've never heard having electricity. So I'm going to go with Wood Devils, but I'm very question mark.
No, I'm sorry, that is incorrect. The
Damn.
correct answer is the Mongolian Deathworm.
I don't remember that.
They slither around in the sand, they pop out, they electrocute you, and you die.
I forgot about the electricity.
Yeah, we had a whole episode.
I know.
So we got worms. We talked about
That was a
tremors.
long
and
time
stuff.
ago.
That was a very early episode.
That was a very early
Ryan,
episode.
out of our 100th episodes, you need to remember more, is all I'm saying. Question number 5.
Five.
Which of these cryptid creatures does not, I repeat, does not reside in Michigan? Is it A, the Dewey Lake Monster, B, Dogman, C, the White River Monster, or D, the Melonheads?
C, White River Monster.
That is correct, Ryan. Well done.
We don't have many rivers.
Fair enough.
That was basically.
I mean, I think we do have a decent amount of rivers.
I don't know, but that was the reason I went with that. I'm like, we're mainly lakes.
All right. Number 6. Which of these creatures is an aquatic dwelling cryptid? Is it A, the rake, B, the Pukwudgies, C, the ahua, or D, the Altamahaha?
Shit. Man, this is hard.
You don't remember hearing about the ahul or the Altamahaha?
I remember the ahoo.
ahul.
But I don't think they were aquatic. Were they aquatic?
Well, I wouldn't just give you the answer, but yes, maybe. Who knows, Ryan? You have 4. The rake, the Pukwudgies, the ahul, and the Altamahaha.
God dang. Shoot. I almost want to go with the rake.
Is that your final answer?
No.
Okay.
Altamahaha.
And Ryan at the last minute pulls off a win. That is
Yes.
right. It is the Altamahaha.
It was between those two. Because
well,
I knew it wasn't Ahul or Pukwudgie.
Well, you nailed it, sir.
Thank you.
Altamahaha. Number 7, everyone. The bunyip is a water-dwelling cryptid from Australia. It has a dog-like face, dark fur, a horse-like tail, flippers, walrus-like tusks, a crocodile-like head, and a duck-like bill. In the Aborigine Wamba Wamba tribe, the bunyip translates directly to A, devil or evil spirit, B, creator or god, C, teacher or ancestor, or D, earth spirit or mother earth.
Oh boy. So I remember the bunyip. I remember this one. But man, I want to say teacher or ancestor.
No, I'm sorry, that is incorrect. It is actually A, devil or evil spirit.
Wasn't sure because that seemed too blatant.
Fair enough, but that is the answer. So, take it up with them.
Okay.
All right. You ready for number 8?
I am.
Are you sure?
Sure.
All right. What cryptid is the monster in the following 3 films? The Retreat, 2020. Antlers, 2021. And Consumed, 2024. Is it A, Bigfoot, B, Mothman, C, a chupacabra, or D, a Wendigo?
It's gotta be the Wendigo with the antlers.
That is correct, Ryan. Well done, sir.
I feel like that was a given. Thank you.
Well, yeah. Some of them are easier than others. It's called a game, you crazy man. But we have 2 questions left, and so far you have 5 correct. So you're not doing too bad. You're doing pretty good,
Going
actually.
off the rails on Black Sabbath train.
Number 9. I appear to be skinless. My lower half is that of a horse, and my one big eye reflects only doom as I look at you. What cryptid am I? Is it A, a kelpie, B, the Knocklavi, C, a thunder horse, or D, the Snallygaster? Snallygaster? Snallygaster. Snallygaster. Snallygaster.
Sound about right.
Yeah.
For one, I just want to just do a really quick Thunder Horse.
Thunder horse.
That was a Death Clock song. But no, I'm gonna have to go with the Knocklavi.
And you would be correct, sir. That is, of course, the scariest thing. So scary, I pooped, which is the name of the episode.
It's one of my favorite cryptids we've done.
Episode 9, episode 11, something like that. It's very early on. But if you look up the episode, So Scary I Pooped, you'll hear all about the Knocklavi.
Yes, and it was very much a good one. I was going through all our old episodes, and I saw that, and I was just like, oh, yeah, that was a good one.
Are you ready for our final proper question?
Proper.
Which one of these Japanese creatures plays a musical instrument? Is it A, a kappa, B, the tengu, C, the joragamu, or D, the neuroomna?
I'm going to go with A, the kappa.
I am sorry, that is
Damn.
incorrect. The kappa is kind of like a turtle. He has a little bowl of water in his head. If he spills that water, he can be defeated and dried up. And Ninja Turtles were mistaken as kappa in Ninja Turtles 3 in that film. But no, it is not the kappa. No, it is the Joragumu, or Jorogumo, the Joragumu. It is the Spider Woman who plays her enchanting
I forgot
music
her name.
and lures her in for, death and eating and all that jazz.
Oh, yeah. And honestly, it's a jam. I honestly listened to some of that music with like that classic guitar. That shit's sweet.
Nice. Well, Ryan, you got 6 out of 10. So you did get above average, but now we are ready for our bonus round.
Bonus.
I am about to name 15 cryptids. And each one of these cryptids, all you have to do, Ryan, is simply say, do they have wings or don't they have wings? Here we go. The Jersey Devil.
Wings.
Bigfoot.
No wings.
The Knocklavi.
No wings.
Peekabelly.
Wings.
Mothman.
Wings.
The Bunyip.
No wings.
Pukwudgie.
No wings.
Ahul.
Wings.
The Kelpie.
No wings.
Sirens. Now, this is the original from Greek mythology.
No wings.
The Yativu.
Wings.
The Snallygaster.
Wings.
The Mananangal.
No wings.
The Papabawa.
Wings.
The Ragororu. Whatever the hell.
The Rougarou.
The Rougarou.
No wings.
All right, Ryan. Well, you didn't get them all. I think you missed 4, but let me do the actual math. We have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So out of a possible 25 points, you have made 17. Turns out Ryan actually got 18 right, not 17. Just want to be clear, folks.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Considering this is information that you've gathered over the course of 2 years, and honestly, after we do this show, how often do you research any of this?
Not often. A lot of times because my phone's listening, it'll pop up and stuff.
Fair enough.
But other than that, no.
Well, Ryan, in the famous words of Ace Ventura, he's good, but with my help, he could be the best.
I love it. I love it. Dude.
Oh, man.
Amazing movie.
Amazing movie. That was a lot of cryptid stuff, guys. That was an interview. That was a cryptid game. That was a spooky stuff. What do you think we cover some aliens now?
Aliens?
Aliens!
Let's do it.
Disclosure discussion. Ha 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 ha. It's about aliens and stuff.
The Sirians. In 1977, A message was broadcast across parts of southern England claiming to be from an entity calling itself Ashtar, rumored to be the leader of the Sirians. Aliens who call the star system Sirius home are often referred to as Sirians.
Yeah, that tracks.
The message was one seemingly of goodwill, advising humans to remove all of the weapons of evil and that they were deeply concerned, pledging to do all they could to help humanity. There was even mention of Sirius, their home star.
Seriously, what if that
Seriously.
Oh, seriously. Yeah. What they want us to get rid of nukes. They want us to get rid of all that stuff. So what if they're the ones in that spaceship headed to Earth right now? They're like, all right, they promised us they'd clean up their act. We're gonna see how they're doing.
And they're just like super like thinking great about it. Like,
Yeah.
oh, of course they listen.
Yeah.
We were very clear with the message, right? Right? Yeah.
That all ethereal will be like, oh, we shall bring them galactic peace and bring them into our whole big culture. And oh my God, what
are they doing? No.
Why is beheading
What is
videos
he-
trending?
What are they doing? Oh my God, what are they doing?
Ugh. I'm just saying, if an alien, if that is an alien spaceship.
The Sirius system is a binary solar system, as it has two stars like Tatooine, with Sirius A being the largest and brightest. Sirius B is a small white dwarf star, a lower luminosity and mass than Sirius A. Both stars revolve around their barycenter, dragging the other planets in rotation.
Yeah, they spin around each other. Everything else spins around them.
In ufology and contactism, the beings from Sirius are extraterrestrials from various planets orbiting the star Sirius A, mostly described as a humanoid in appearance with only a few features different than those of humans. There are at least 3 different types of beings from Sirius A. In ufology, the first cases of contactees who reported encounters with beings from Sirius described beings with human appearance in coppery or dark tan skin color. They're described as being humanoid being of short stature, less than 1.6 meters tall, with yellow or olive skin.
Oh, coppery, yellowy, I get it.
They have no hair and are completely bald. Their bioenergy is strong and of a white spectrum. They are generally dressed in a tight-fitting blue suit and are part of a galactic federation. In contactee literature, these beings claim to originate from the planet Tron in the Sirius A system.
Yeah, part of the Galactic Federation that we were going to be invited to, but someone couldn't put away their nukes. I'm looking at you, Putin.
Well, we had, we all took the space money.
Yeah. Gosh darn North Korea, just because you're bad at aim doesn't mean it's okay for you to shoot those off.
Let's knock off on that stuff.
I mean, the Syrians are going to be real pissed about this.
They're boy golly, they're
Those
not going to like it.
Goddamn Syrians tell me what to do in my own planet.
They never do. They never do. The second beings are described as having a human-like appearance with white skin, but eyes with vertical pupils, similar to those of the feline or the reptile.
Man, furries are going to go nuts.
As well as a very elongated nose.
Oh, okay. Well,
people with a Pinocchio fetish are going to go nuts.
Yeah, might. I wonder if Pinocchio has like Pinocchio fetish. Like,
oh my God, of
there's
course.
fetishes for everything, right? So having a giant nose has got to be a fetish.
Well, I mean, just think about Pinocchio's girlfriend. She just sits on his face and goes,
I
"Lie!
know the joke.
Lie!"
I know the joke.
These humanoid beings usually have
That's
blonde.
Crude, sir.
Come on. They usually have blonde or brown hair underneath the wetsuit-like suits they wear.
Yeah, all leggings, these aliens.
There, I got to do one.
Not too bad of an ass either, right, Rod?
They have light green eyes and brown hair. According to contactee Alex Collier, the Sirians of A are descendants of the Lyrans and members of the Galactic Federation. According to Collier, the Sirians of A belong to the positive extraterrestrials who protect Earth from the Greys. Interesting. So the Greys are Not great,
I mean, at least politically, right?
I guess.
I mean, if they're part of the Galactic Federation, like, oh, we don't like them Greys. They're like the Romulans. They ain't listening. They ain't playing ball.
they ain't playing ball. Stuart.
Out of everything, that's what did it for you? All right, fair enough.
Stuart Swerdlow, other than that guy's name, classifies the beings from Sirius A as the largest technology traders in the galaxy.
Oh, yeah.
Now for the third type. These beings are described by UFO researcher Al Bielek, Slavic writer Stuart Swerdlow, and American writer John Grace as humanoids with a human-like appearance, but with the only difference being that they have vertical eyes like those of a cat or feline.
Yeah, we mentioned them, yeah.
According to UFO writer John Grace, the beings from Sirius A were the extraterrestrials who abducted American Highway Patrolman Heber Scheiber in 1967.
Okay, put Heber Scheiber aside for a second. The fact that these are humanoid aliens, that the only difference is like weird cat eyes, that does feel very Star Trek. Because I always thought it was hilarious in all those Star Trek shows. Well, not recently. Recently, they've kind of branched out. Every damn creature is like a human, but I have this I have a strange ear ridge. That
But I
makes me an
still
alien.
wear a cowboy hat.
Kinda.
They were also seen by humans in secret facilities in the United States desert, working together with other extraterrestrial beings known as the Tall Blondes or the Nordics. We're going to have to do that soon.
Yeah, the Nordics.
The Pleiadian.
Oh, the Nordics. They're skinny, they're blonde, they're basically elves from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
They're all Legolas. It's a whole goddamn race of Legolases.
it is.
Hey, I'm just saying, interpret Lord of the Rings a little different. What if the boat to the Undying Lands was a spaceship to that galaxy? And elves are real, and they're actually Nordics. I know we're talking about Sirians, but I'm just saying.
So they just been fooling ever since Middle Earth.
It could be. We don't know how long ago Middle Earth was. I mean, as far as Tolkien is concerned, he said he wanted to make some really, really crazy prehistory mythology that did not exist. And he did. So if it is under the guise of prehistory, I mean, it could be millions of years. I mean, in the Lord of the Rings mythos, I'm just saying they resculpted the earth a few times. At one point, there was the sun and the moon on giant pillars, and then they were knocked over when Morgoth destroyed the whole planet. And then there was a bunch of different changes to the environment. And then eventually there was golden trees. It's not important. Listen, Ryan, let's talk about what's important. These goddamn Syrians coming here being pissed off because we don't have nukes. Or we still have nukes. Go.
According to Stuart Swerdlow, these Sirius A beings
ADD, the podcast.
with vertical pupils were generally created by the Sirius A beings as UFO technicians and pilots. This is also agreed by
Working class.
by Al Bielek. Swerdlow calls these genetically created beings the Kothari. Russian-born ufologist Pavel Kolov also categorizes these beings as describing them as Oriental type Syrians, but with cat-like eyes.
That guy was just racist.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, I actually do laugh because a lot of things in Japanese culture, they do a lot of like cat stuff. So in my head, I'm thinking like in Japan, there's Syrians just walking around and they're just doing their little cat thing. And people are just like, oh, that teen doing the fad of having the cat ears and the cat eyes. And really it's like, I'm a Syrian.
And it's created just a whole slew
That's
of
a fucking anime. Exactly.
Yeah,
That's an anime
yeah.
right there. God, I can't get down with every anime, but I love how wild some of the premises are.
I have to agree. I mean, I grew up on Dragon Ball Z. That's what I liked, you know.
Cartoon Network bringing Toonami into our lives because my first
Yes.
experience, the first DVD I ever bought was Tenchi, the movie 2, the sequel. Like, I don't know how many movies Tenchi has, but it was released in the United States as Tenchi
Was that just like the
2.
guy that was just constantly in between women?
Yeah, dude, it's like the whole anime was about this guy that for some reason all these people want to have sex with.
Yeah.
Including like demons from other universes.
So it leads me
They're
to
just like-
believe that
like,
we're
hey, you know that that Japanese gentleman who's in high school, I'm gonna fucking hit that.
So, I mean, it just leads me to believe that we're getting a dumbed down version, right? Like probably over there, like he's banging, right? He's getting laid, and they get to see it, and we don't.
Oh man,
You know?
how often, like, because people talk about aliens living among us, whether it's shape-shifting reptilians or whatever, and that would be crazy if it's true, and it could be, who knows? But I just think it'd be funny if Syrians were just like hanging out in Japanese nightclubs, being like, "Sup? It's just fashion. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about the eyes. It's fashion."
And honestly, with the eyes, let's face it, you get contacts that could make your eyes look like that, so no one would look twice.
Yes, we grew up with a friend who was big in the horrorcore scene. He had a couple albums that came out. His name is Mr. Stitches. He was in Mental Ward. Well, the first part of his career, first couple albums, constantly he wore those eyes, different wild eyes, and the contacts with the X's and the all white.
I was going to
out.
say the X's.
The cat
and I.
I know the cat eyes were always annoying because the problem is they rotate because contacts don't stay in your eyes. So you actually had to get like a little weight in the bottom of the contact in order to hold the cat eye in the right position.
That makes sense.
And the issue would be is you felt it. I mean, it's in your eye. So if you've ever worn contacts, you do get used to them. And just imagine like a little bubble or something in that contact that every time you blink, you feel. So the one time I wore a cat eye, because I wore cat eye. I was a little punky goth skater kid in high school. I remember I bought a set of wolf eyes. I wore them, I mean, at least half of 10th grade. Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
Yeah, I thought I was cool as hell. And you know what?
You were.
I did okay. I got to be honest. I'm not going to get into it, but for a nerd, I was doing all right. The point
Cleaned
is,
it up. Cleaned it up shop.
so, if you ever see someone looking down the street, looking all trendy, could be a Syrian.
Could be a Syrian. Syrian aliens. Disclosure discussion. Hey, we're just asking questions.
Yeah. Is that a scene girl on OnlyFans or an alien?
The world may never know.
Well, that was a really, really weird disclosure discussion. That was kind of weird, Ryan.
Well, a lot of people are weird, and I'll bet we are weird to aliens.
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine? Because we think about aliens, like I mentioned earlier, Star Trek, where they're just like humans with ridges in their eyebrows. No, chances are they're more like squids or a gelatinous cube or something that's so completely different to us. It would be so weird to us, and you're right. It would be weird for them looking at us. But sometimes we're looking around our own world, and things are weird that we see. I mean, you've come across some weird, right?
Every single day.
Well, here's another one, guys. Enjoy this week's
Real World Weird.
Man in Batman pajamas busts alleged burglar in Florida. Of course, it's Florida.
Of course, it's Florida.
A Florida man clad in Batman pajamas wound up emulating the superhero by springing into action and busting an alleged burglar operating in his neighborhood. The odd incident reportedly...
It's amazing.
Dude, yeah, it reportedly occurred in the community of Cape Coral early Wednesday morning when resident Kyle Myvet was roused from his sleep by an alert from his home security system. Seeing that someone was breaking into his truck, he ventured outside and observed the perpetrator in action before watching him move on to another home in the neighborhood.
I mean, so it's not just that he spotted this guy. He like stalked him for a sec. He figured out the game plan, like Batman,
I can't help but
like
laugh
a
'cause
real
he's
life
just like,
Batman.
I'm just saying this like, okay, yeah, he's stealing from my car. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, he's definitely stealing from my car. Okay, now he's moved. Okay, so he's gonna go to someone else's.
Okay,
I should do something.
That's pretty noble, right? Like, it's okay that you steal my shit, but you're gonna fuck with Greg. I'm gonna go Batman
That's where I
pajamas
laugh.
on your ass.
Is like he waited. Like he didn't spring into action for his shit. But when he was like, well, that's the last straw. Perhaps inspired by his Batman pajamas, it was then Myvel felt compelled to act and transformed into a genuine crime fighter.
About time.
Here's a quote. It's not in me to just stand there and be a coward when I see something that needs to be done.
I want to know that he takes this kind of action in every aspect of his life.
Like, this is only the first thing we've heard of. This dude does this all the time.
I am the night. I am the shadow. I will return, Fluffy.
Justice.
That was Lost Cat, by the way.
Justice.
The proverbial Cape Coral Crusader recalled to a local TV station that previous quote that I just said. My vet quickly subdued the subject, Justin Schimple, who undoubtedly did a double take at the homeowner's Batman attire.
Yeah, right?
Like, holy
Oh,
shit.
fuck, it's Batman.
Reflecting
Like,
on
if you're
his...
stealing shit, you could possibly be like, I don't know, down on your luck, lack of sleep, on drugs. That would be horrifying.
Oh my God, he's real.
Robert Pattinson looks scary as fuck.
Reflecting, and he's not sparkling at all. Reflecting on his rather iconic pair of pajamas that evening, my vet later jokingly mused, quote, I knew for some reason I should have worn that particular outfit. Yeah.
That's true. Like, I mean, no disrespect to someone who did something heroic, but can we point out this is a grown man in full body Batman pajamas?
And he certainly is. I have an image right here, guys, and this is a grown man in a Batman onesie. That is a onesie. Like, dude,
man.
look, the belt is seamless. This is a onesie.
It is definitely a onesie. You know, it's not that I won't wear random pajamas that are, let's say, adorable. But when I go to sleep, am I crazy? I just sleep in my boxers. What do you sleep in?
My boxers.
Yeah, right? Like, it's
Yeah.
either boxers naked or like you're some religious person and you have magic underwear. One or the other. Or the other.
Like, yeah, if I wake up and I don't have boxers on, something happened last night. Like, you know, like
Hold on. That was a funny statement. What?
That's the truth.
That's
the truth.
Yes, that's true. If I'm double ducking it in the bedroom, I'm worried.
There were something happened. Like, I don't know what.
Look at who's next to you is the first thing.
Right. Right. Well, thank goodness it's my lovely lady. So
not a man dressed in Batman pajamas fighting crime.
Not recently.
Anyways, Mavet, that's his name, right? Mavet, M-Y, was it? M-Y-V-E-T-T.
Yeah, Mavet.
Must be last name?
I'm guessing, yeah. And it said when police arrived in response to a call about a burglary in the neighborhood, one imagines that they were equally taken aback by the sight of Batman, having taken down the subject before them. Cops commented Mavet for his actions, calling them a prime example of what we can do when we work together as a community or as Batman.
As Batman. Yeah. You know what's funny is most of the time in the Batman cartoons, the cops are like, goddamn Batman vigilante. In real life, the cops are like, yeah, we don't want to do our job.
Good job. Hey,
you guys take care of yourself.
Guys hear that Bat guy came back and he did real good.
Hey,
thanks again there. Can we get you a donut?
That was a bit weird. Ryan, if you were going to fight crime in pajamas, what full body onesie pajamas would you wear to like help your neighbors fight crime?
To help them fight crime?
Well, like you're fighting crime by defeating someone who's robbing your neighbors.
McGruff.
You want
totally McGruff. Remember McGruff?
I do remember McGruff. For those of you who don't know, because I don't know where in the fucking country of the world you're listening from, there was a cartoon dog who is in, I assume, the late 80s, early 90s.
He had like a overcoat.
Yeah, he had a trench coat, a brown trench coat.
Trench coat.
And he was a crime dog from Chicago, actually. And it was Scruff McGruff. And you can call and get a little activity book. And they had TV show commercials. It was Scruff McGruff, Chicago, Illinois, 60692.
Look at this.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that you knew this. You know more than me.
I am a Scruff McGruff
so you agree?
Fan.
So it's a good idea.
If you were going to fight crime, you'd be in a Scruff McGruff outfit. I was going with superhero, but you know what? Because it's so obscure and random, I'll allow it.
Thank you.
I'll allow it.
Thank you. I'm just saying, like, take a bite out of crime. You know what I'm saying?
Take a bite right out of crime.
See, that's all I knew.
I was
Joe knew the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, I did.
Joe knew, like, I didn't know he was from Chicago. I didn't know the whole thing. He just did a thing. He just did a whole bit.
Hey, man, I
That
remember
we did
random
not prepare.
shit from my childhood. Well, it's not going to be as good as yours, but I would dress like one of the Roos from Tank Girl because an anthropomorphic kangaroo is a pretty badass way to fight crime. But you win.
We both chose to be furries fighting crime, so it makes so. Honestly, I'm on board. You're a giant kangaroo. I'm a giant dog. You know, here we are. It's already terrifying.
Truthfully, I just want to be Ice Cube because Ice Cube played a kangaroo in Tank Girl. And in my head, that was the epitome of cool. I'm like, when I grow up, I'm gonna be a grown man in weird prosthetics. That's right.
Just, you never know where you're gonna end up. Hopefully, you end up like Ice Cube.
Okay, at this point, I had to pop in and correct myself. It's Ice T, not Ice Cube, and I knew that at the time, but I made a mistake. Okay, Ice T. The guy from Law and Order, that gangster rapper, not the other gangster rapper from the War of the Worlds that just came out that was awful that Amazon did. No. Ice-T, not Ice Cube. Thank you.
Calling all comic fans, it's time to feed your brain at Green Brain Comics, where the freshest new issues, graphic novels, and manga hit the shelves every week. Whether you're looking for the hottest new series or the latest small press sensation, we've got it all. Every genre for every age, Green Brain Comics is your one-stop shop for all things graphic storytelling. Got questions? Our friendly staff knows their stuff. Whether you're a longtime fan or new to the world of comics, we've got recommendations that'll keep you coming back for more. And don't forget to check out our special events. Green Brain Comics is not just a store, it's a community. Located in East Downtown Dearborn, we are at Green Brain Comics on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Shop online at greenbraincomics.com and remember to feed your brain at Green Brain Comics.
Earthling Entertainment Special Report. 1. Scrubs is bringing back John C. McGinley as Dr. Cox in the upcoming series relaunch. 2. The Bluey movie will release on August 6, 2027. 3. A television series based on the video game franchise Life is Strange has been announced by Amazon. 4. The new live-action Street Fighter movie releases October 16, 2026. This has been an Earthling Entertainment Special Report. Report. We reporting your ass. Report.
So one of the gremlins that just left doing the special report, he was wearing a Mastodon shirt. You ever heard Mastodon?
We talked earlier in the show. I'm not really a big music guy, but yes, I actually have heard of Mastodon, to be fair.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah, dude. They've been around for a while. They got a lot of respect, man. And there's just been a ton of stuff going on. And unfortunately, former member of the band actually had just passed away, and evidently, dude, he was in the
mentioned that. You mentioned that. I was upset because we didn't cover it in Well, Now They're Dead because I missed it.
Yeah,
well, I'm glad we're talking about it now.
And he was even working on a lot of stuff with Bam Margera.
Oh yeah,
like musically.
Dude, I love Bam Margera. I mean, like seriously, I have in my library right now all the CKY stuff. His movie Haggard. And I guess I'm a bigger Bam Margera fan than Mastodon. No offense to Mastodon, but yeah. But I'm aware. The point is I'm aware. Continue, please.
But yeah, no, that just kind of brings us to our next segment of Music Mumbles because this is news to me.
Okay, well, guys, you heard Ryan. Check out this week's
Music Mumbles.
Former Mastodon guitarist Brent Hinds was working on new music with Bam Margera before his death. Brent Hinds had been working on new music with Bam Margera shortly before his tragic death. The former Mastodon guitarist died in a motorcycle accident on August 20th at the age of 51.
Dude, that is too young.
Dude, far too young, man. Everybody's been mourning.
I mean, I guess if it's a couple hundred years ago, 51, you're like one of the elders, but nowadays that's pretty young.
And the former Jackass star was among the many to pay tribute to the Axe Slayer. The 45-year-old skater and musician also revealed that they had only recently been recording tracks together for the heavy metal band Amor ad Lunam.
Well, you know what? That was probably a bad name because if you can't have your audience know your name easily, then it is not a good choice.
It is scraping the bottom of the barrel in naming bands. Let me tell you, I've had to name bands. And
It's kind of like picking a website. You'd be like,
It's hard.
South Park did this thing where like, what about dorkfart.queef? And they're like, nope, taken.
Margera penned alongside a montage of clips of the pair on Instagram. Quote,
Dude, I feel so bad for Bam Margera. Ryan Dunn, his like best friend, died in like 2011 from a car crash, and now this guy he's working with, he's obviously good friends with, dies from a motorcycle accident. If I was Bam Margera, I'd become agoraphobic. I wouldn't leave the fucking house.
Well, I mean, if you've kept up with his journey these past few years, it hasn't been so great.
Well, he's had some issues, obviously. They apparently removed him from the fourth Jackass movie. They said because he couldn't stop drinking, and Bam Margera says, you guys, what the hell, that I made this franchise, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Of
but
stuff.
I am happy he was in Tony Hawk Pro Skater plus 3 and 4. Tony Hawk apparently insisted on him returning, and since they couldn't incorporate him in like the game proper, they made him a bonus character. But hey, I got him immediately, it's good stuff.
Recently I heard that Castivo and him had like a reoccurring, like, oh, he's gonna go on tour, and then they had something fall out, and that was a couple years ago. I heard that now he's going on tour with them again. So Steve-O and Bam Margera they've reconciled. Well, they've gotten back.
That is fantastic. It really is. Like I said, I love Bam Margera, but I want to give respect to this gentleman, the Brett Hines, or was it
Brett Hines? Yeah,
Brett Hines. Yeah. So my apology. I digress. Let's jump into Brett Hines.
Margera penned alongside a montage of clips of the pair on Instagram, and he said, quote, "I am devastated and still processing the tragic loss of one of my closest friends, Brent Hines. Around the time Ryan Dunn died, I met Brent on the Soundwave Festival in Australia and said to him in a joking way, 'You look and act like Ryan Dunn, and we should just be best friends.' And he said, 'Okay.'"
Oh my God, I was right. I nailed it on the head. This would be horribly traumatic for Bam.
And that's just like how we were. Quote, "Brett and I recently had begun recording tracks on a new album with a new band I have been doing vocals on called Amor ad Lunam. It has been a privilege and honor working with Brent. I cherish the time we spent together working on guitar tracks and vocals that we just recently laid down together. My friends Stefan, Decay, and Iman have gathered some clips and pics for a special slideshow ending with Brent breaking my arm with a golf club by accident. R.I.P. brother at Brent Hines. Mastodon rocks. Sick."
Oh man, Jackass 4 really dropped the ball by not having this gentleman in it.
See? Like, dude, he's still doing it. Mastodon's Bill, Keller.
All right, so Bill Keller,
I think, hailed Brent as a true one-of-a-kind guitar wizard extraordinaire. And that's what every musician I knew, like it was never like vocalists, and because I'm a vocalist, so it was never vocalists that were like Mastodon. It was always instrumentalists, people who played the guitar.
They respected what this man could do on the guitar.
Yes. Despite their differences, the heavy metal band's rhythm guitarist always considered the lead guitarist a brother and has been left torn apart by the devastating loss. Alongside a carousel of pictures of the pair over the years, he penned on Instagram, quote, "It's been hard to get a grip on my emotions this week. We had our good and bad times just like in any relationship. All that we accomplished after that first fist fight in the van 25 years ago. I didn't think you'd be taken from us like this. Absolute loss of a true one-of-a-kind guitar wizard extraordinaire. Keeping up with you taught me a lot. You were a kind guitar wizard. Sorry, you were a kind brother. Sorry, guys. And we were a family. You were a wild man not to be tamed. You could fuck up a bowling ball with a feather.
That's a good quote.
You weren't perfect, but you were always Dirty B. Your vagabond, gypsy, wild child lives on in your music. I will miss your crazy ass. Not bad.
Bad at all.
Hines claimed that he had been kicked out of Mastodon in March, but drummer Bran Daler insisted that there were a lot of love for him in the band while paying tribute to him at their gig in Alaska State Fair on August 22nd. And that was why I wanted to talk about this today, was because I was never a huge Mastodon fan. I've listened to a lot of their music, and it's all great. And a lot of my friends really like it. And the last I heard was, yeah, he got kicked out or whatever. And he was really bitter about it. But then there was like talks that, oh, no, he left. You know, I mean, it was mutual. But you could tell it wasn't great because the last thing before I heard about his death was he did like an interview basically kind of bashing them. And it's like, but you know what I mean? It's one of those things where they would have reconciled. They would have fixed it.
I don't care how amicably people break up, whether it's a band or a relationship, there's always someone hurt. You know what I mean? There's always one party that feels as though they got the raw end of the deal. And so it makes sense that he'd be a little bitter. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Being in a relationship, being in a band is like being in a relationship with a bunch of dudes. Or girls, like if you have girls in your band.
Depending on who you talk to, I mean, that might be
like,
easier or harder.
It literally is. There's it's a family. And think about all that Mastodon's done. I remember playing them on Guitar Hero. They had a song on there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they've been around for so long. They've done so much.
This story just really hits home for me, man. Because it reminds me of Jeff. So I'm just going to do a real brief thing. In, was it 2010, 2011, I was making my first movie. I was very young. I was like 23, 24. It was before film school. And so I was recording and I made one of our good friends the lead. His name was Jeff Moser. He was Mr. Stitches in the horrorcore group Mental Ward. They did pretty well for themselves. You could find their albums if you'd look them up. Relatively big in the area. Very crass subject matter with their music. I got to be honest, his solo album, I listened to it, and there's one song in particular that really hits home, but most of them, my God, there's a reason why they call it horrorcore. It is awful lyric-wise. I mean, not awful as in bad. It's really well written, but it's disgusting.
The way that I look at it is no one dogs the horror film director. You know?
Sure. All this is meant to say that he was a good friend of mine, and while filming that movie, he died. And he died while, like, much like Bam Margera in this gentleman, like, while we were working on stuff. And beyond having a huge impact and knowing the guy since I was in kindergarten, it's just the whole change of your life when you have someone that close to you that is suddenly gone. I mean, most people will eventually go through it, but when it happens for you, the first time, it blows your mind. And like I said, Bam Margera lost Ryan Dunn in 2011, and same year we lost Jeff, and it just it changes.
Crazy. I didn't realize that was the same year.
I'm pretty sure, man. I mean, you can look it up, but I'm pretty sure it was both. I mean, Jeff was 2011, but yeah.
Shit. Well, it's a
motorcycle accident for this guy. Whew.
Yeah, motorcycle accident, and he'll be fucking missed, man. Like I said, Matt, that's all I've been seeing still. Every time I sign on any social media, they're still talking about this. It's a devastating loss, and just sometimes maybe let this remind us to, give
what's the
turn
cliche
the other cheek,
thing?
Like turn the other cheek. You know what I mean? Like you never know what tomorrow brings, man.
That beef you've been having with your old boys, well, someone could die tomorrow.
Unfortunately, that's the truth.
That is the truth. And while the people we are about to discuss lived very long lives, death is on the subject of our next topic, which is a segment we refer to as
Remember that guy? Remember that gal? Well, now they're dead.
Well, very fine, absolutely respectful fart noise, I might say, to usher us into these gentlemen who are no longer with us. number 1.
Rick Davies, the co-founder, singer, and songwriter of British band Supertramp, has died after a long battle with cancer. He was 81.
Yeah, well, cancer sucks. It always does. It seems to take too many people. 81's a good run, though. 81's a good run. I'm not going to act like I'm a huge fan. It's just this gentleman was in the entertainment industry, and, we tip our hat to you, sir.
Indeed.
Yes.
Giorgio Armani, the Italian fashion designer, died in his home last week. He was 91.
All right, 91. All right. Well, Armani, damn. That's fashion. Didn't they just do a movie with, what was it, Adam Driver playing Armani?
That makes sense. I know nothing.
You know nothing. Quick correction. Adam Driver did a movie called The House of Gucci, not Armani, Gucci. Different fashion person. All right, just to be clear. Hey, we are not high fashion people, hence the t-shirts, but hey, we salute you, sir.
That brings us to Graham Greene. Actor Graham Greene, best known for his work in the 1990 film Dances with Wolves, has died at the age of 73.
Yeah, now this one is why he's last, is because I know about this guy. I love this actor. He is a character actor.
I recognize him in a bunch of things.
Yeah, he's in much of things for sure. He's Native American, and he's been in so many different, just as a character actor. What I liked him in, there was a show called Defiance, and it was a sci-fi show on the Sci-Fi Channel. Lasted 3 seasons, and he played a main character in that. Obviously, Dances with Wolves, but do you remember he did an episode of The Last of Us?
Oh, that was him?
Yeah, dude, when in the first season, when Ellie and Joel come across the siblings, that was him. Yeah.
That was him.
He's been in everything. He really will be missed. I don't know what else to say. I enjoyed his work, and I'm done. Good job, man. I'm sorry. 73 is a little young in my opinion.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? He he's iconic. He did his thing.
People will remember him. Pharaohs built giant statues and pyramids to be remembered. This guy did film. Assuming the world doesn't end when the aliens come in like the next month and a half. I personally still watch movies that are from the early 1900s and such.
Remember me. Remember me. Right?
Exactly.
Hey, man. Salute.
Yeah. Graham Greene, I pull one out for you, sir.
Joe.
Yes.
I am done with these dead people.
Fair enough.
For now.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Yeah.
Until next time,
People
Joe.
die every day, right? I get it.
People die. Yes. But.
What?
It is time.
For what?
For.
Lines? Guys, I hope you enjoy these couple Earthling Entertainment headlines.
Game of Thrones star Sophie Turner confirmed to play Lara Croft in Amazon's Tomb Raider series.
Huh.
This comes to us from IGN.com. Amazon's Tomb Raider series will start shooting in 2026 with Game of Thrones star Sophie Turner confirmed to play Lara Croft. Turner is best known for her role as Sansa Stark in Game of Thrones, though she has also played Jean Grey in X-Men Dark Phoenix and X-Men Apocalypse.
That's right. I actually haven't seen her in anything in a while. I feel like the X-Men movies didn't do that well, and she kind of fell off. But I do always like her. She was married to a Jonas for a while.
She was great. She was great in Game of Thrones. That's what I know about her.
Yeah, I really liked it. Yeah.
Production kicks off in January, nearly 2 years after the series was given a thumbs up at Prime Video. Fleabag's Phoebe
Waller-Bridge,
thank you very much, is creator, writer, and executive producer on the series. Lara Croft was, of course, played by Angelina Jolie and Alicia
Van was it? You messed me up. Vikander. Excuse me, Vikander.
Thank you. In movie adaptations of the famous video game. I remember breaking her neck all the time.
She's Lara Croft jumps. Yeah.
I would do that all the time. Because you always started in the the mansion, and I would just jump off as a kid. I was just like, Like I would just jump her off.
Yeah, it's funny. That's the tutorial. You never got past the tutorial, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm terrible. More recently, Netflix aired its own anime take on Tomb Raider, with Marvel star Haley Atwell voicing the lead character.
Okay, so I actually do have some thoughts on this. Okay, so first of all, since we just spoke about it, Haley Atwell as Lara Croft. It's a Netflix animated series. There's going to be another season, but that's going to be it. And it was okay, not bad. Alicia Vikander doing her version of Lara Croft. I was fine with that reboot. It was kind of inspired by the new video games that came out. I say new, but now they're almost 20 years old. But Square Enix did a couple Tomb Raider games, and it was like the revamped version of her that came out in 2013. And that was kind of what her version or her take was about. Walter Goggins was in it as a villain, I think. And yeah, it was pretty good, but it didn't have the fantasy element, which, of course, the Angelina Jolie film, all of those had the fantasy element. Like, I don't know if you remember, but in the original Tomb Raider game, she shoots a T-Rex. It's a fun sci-fi series. And the Angelina Jolie one, even though the second film kind of went over the top, it did pretty well. But the first one, she was fighting robot spiders. I don't know. I'm a big fan of Tomb Raider. I actually have all 50 comics, almost first printing for all of them, of the Top Cow series that came out in the early 2000s. And yeah. I guess all I'm saying is I am excited. I think Sophie Turner will do a good job. I did like her in Game of Thrones. She's British, so you got the accent, I guess. And yeah, honestly not who I would pick, but I'm okay with it.
She wasn't much action like in Game of Thrones.
She did play the victim, it felt, in that show.
Yeah, she
But-
didn't do a whole lot of action. Like, I don't think there was ever a moment she struck anyone down.
Well, in your experience, do you think she could play Lara Croft?
I'll give her the
I
benefit.
always want to say Laura. It's Lara.
I'll give her the benefit of a doubt because I did like her in Game of Thrones, but like to see her as, I almost would rather see the girl who played Arya.
Arya Stark played. No.
I almost would.
I don't know. She feels.
She doesn't have the looks. See, that's the problem. It's like,
Macy
yeah.
Williams. Yeah, she's.
Yeah.
It's not about the looks. I just feel like she's too short. I don't know.
That's true.
Like Lara to me in my head was always like, I don't know, taller than me, but not too tall. So let's say a little bit less than 6 feet. And I don't know. I just can't imagine Macy Williams playing her. I don't know.
I couldn't either. You're right, but I'm just saying when it came to action and shit like that, that's what I see.
Fair enough. And a couple years ago, I would say, you know who'd be good was Emily Blunt. If Emily Blunt did Lara Croft in, let's say, 2010, that would be dope.
Is like Scarlett Johansson too obvious? Like, is she aged out? Is that what's happening?
No, I mean, I guess she could do it. I don't know if she'd be my pick, but I mean, you make her brunette. I'm sure she's an actress. She could probably do an accent. I mean, I would watch it. I wouldn't hate it, but it wouldn't be my pick.
I don't know. I could just see that.
I don't know, it
Because
depends
like
on the
Black
Lara-
Widow was kind of similar.
Yeah, but you got to remember, Scarlett Johansson's still a young woman. I'm not saying she's old, but like Lara Croft, depending on where you go in the timeline, is supposed to be late 20s, maybe early 30s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she perhaps aged out of the earlier character. I don't know.
That sounds about right.
Will you see it though? Are you going to watch this Amazon version of Lara Croft?
I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't seen any of them.
So no. I will, but fair enough. Ryan,
I'm just
not a
being
fan.
honest. Yeah, I never even played the game all the way through. I only just fucked around.
Fair enough. Well, you know what? Speaking of things that you've seen, did you happen to see the new Superman?
I did not.
You did not. I love the new Superman. So
I've heard great things.
It's fun. It throws you right into the action. It's the first movie of a new cinematic universe, and they pretty much tell you right off the bat, hey, we've hit the ground running. Metahumans are out there, and all of this is happening. And Peacemaker Season 2 takes place directly after this one, and apparently is going to lead into the next Superman movie, which is our headline number 2.
James Gunn's Superman sequel gets official title and release date.
Yay!
This comes to us from Collider.com. After a successful run this summer, David Corn Sweat.
Yeah,
Superman.
Corn Sweat, dude. What country ass name? Like, cause you think of Clark
I
Kent.
actually got that one right.
Yeah, well, Clark Kent coming from what I think it's Kansas or Smallville, Kansas. I think it's Kansas. But the point is, Corn Sweat. It's perfect. Perfect. Sorry.
Well,
Continue.
Wet Superman is coming back to theaters sooner than you expected. Director James Gunn has announced that the sequel to the smash hit big screen launch of the new DC Comics Cinematic Universe will arrive on July 9th, 2027. So you're going to have to wait a couple of years.
Yeah, 2 years, but that is such a small window for a sequel. That's good. That's so good. Like, unless it's a horror movie or Wayne's World, usually you don't get the sequel the next year.
Word. Not only that, but Gunn also announced that the film's title, Man of Tomorrow.
Woo!
The Man of Tomorrow, like the Man of Steel, is one of the character's long-standing, whatever the hell that word means.
Monikers.
In the post on social media, Gunn included a Jim Lee drawing of Corn Sweat's Superman with Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor. However, unlike the business suits he wears throughout Superman, Luthor is clad in purple and green battle armor.
Yeah, that high-tech armor. It was pretty cool, man. He made that from it was like the early 80s that came out, and it was just, he kind of looks like Buzz Lightyear, but it basically
Little bit.
Yeah. It basically looks like a super suit, but pretty much what I'm saying is that's all you need. You basically what he's saying is the first movie was a success. The next movie's coming out 2 years later. You're going to get Lex Luthor as the antagonist again. This time he can fight Superman on his own terms. I mean, I'm in. I don't know about you, but I did like the new Superman. I like James Gunn. There's almost not a single thing James Gunn has done that I didn't like.
I had to agree. Like everything that I'm like, oh, it's James Gunn? That's sweet. It's sweet.
Yeah. Rainn Wilson. Do you know that character from The Office? Well, he was in a James Gunn film called Super. And it was kind of a little bit like Kick-Ass, where it was if superheroes happened in a real life setting. Kevin Bacon was in it. Liv Tyler was in it. If you haven't seen Super, check out Super by James Gunn.
I should, because I like Kevin Bacon.
Yeah. Well, Nathan Fillion is in it as well as the voice of God.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Not as good as Alanis Morissette, but not bad.
Kevin Smith making Alanis Morissette God since 1999.
That's right. So that brings us to headline number 3. Vin Diesel and Michael Caine will return in the Last Witch Hunter sequel.
And to be clear, the reason why this is news is because Michael Caine is retired. So he's coming out of retirement for this film.
This comes to us from BloodyDisgusting.com. Vin Diesel is set to reprise his role as Calder in a sequel to The Last Witch Hunter, Deadline has learned.
That's right. Did you see that flick?
Nope.
Came out in 2015. Elijah Wood was in it. It's a lot of fun. It really is. It's inspired by kind of a Dungeons & Dragons fantasy feel, but it's definitely its own property. And it was one of Vin Diesel's babies. Like, he really liked it. And at first didn't make a lot of money, but apparently has grown in popularity since.
I feel like that was like Pitch Black was my Vin Diesel movie.
Yeah.
You know? So Lionsgate is developing the follow-up to the 2015 fantasy action movie alongside Diesel's One Race films, with both parties eyeing a fast path to production. While a deal has not yet been finalized, Michael Caine is attached to come out of retirement to reprise his role as Golden.
Like I said, coming out of retirement.
That's a big move.
It is a big move, especially for The Last Witch Hunter. So there are two scenarios here. Here, he either loves it, loves the script, loves the idea, or he's getting paid so much money. It's one or the other.
Probably the latter. The Last Witch Hunter has grown since its theatrical release into a global fan favorite, with audiences continued to discover and rewatch it across every platform over the past decade, says Adam Fogelson, chair of Lionsgate Motion Picture Group. That's enduring enthusiasm made clear there is an appetite for more stories set in this world. Focusing continues. Vin and I have partnered many times over the years, and he is a true force in our industry. I'm thrilled to be reuniting with him as he returns to his iconic role, and excited by how advancements in filmmaking technology now allow us to economically deliver a sequel on an even more ambitious scale. The Last Witch Hunter grossed 130 million at the worldwide box office.
Which is actually nothing. They're making it sound like it's a lot, but it's not.
Sounds like a lot to me. It has since performed consistently in other markets, reemerge as a streaming hit this year. The film follows one man who stands between humanity and the combined forces of the most horrifying witches in history. This dark gothic fantasy might just be the adventure we've been waiting for at the box office. Hopefully we won't have to wait too long for them to shoot, edit, and release this epic into cinemas.
That's right. The point is they're very early on, and so it's assuming special effects, it's going to be a few years, but it's cool that they're filming it and they're going to make it. I liked the first one, but it's not overly memorable, but I still really liked it.
I want to
Weird
watch
as I
it.
could say that.
I
Yeah.
want to watch it.
Like I said, Elijah Wood is in it, and Elijah Wood picks some fun movies.
Dude, he's awesome. He was like the crazy guy in Sin City.
Yeah.
Like, I'll never forget that role. He was so creepy.
Well, I think that's all the news we need for today. That'll suffice. We're good. We got the headlines. I know we normally do 5. We're doing 3 today. We're doing 3. There's a lot going on in this show. Are you good with 3, Ryan?
It's 100th episode.
Yeah. Right.
We've done a lot.
All right. Well, you know what? There's one more thing to do, bud. We got a tattered tale. We have an audio drama. Do you know this tattered tale?
I do. I like this one.
This one is called The Snail Mount Derby, and it is actually a secret sequel to Alonzi, which is the tattered tale that was on the bonus episode that came out a few weeks ago. Just throwing it out there. You don't need to actually know anything. It's a self-contained story, but small connections, little tweaks. I don't know. I talk too much about this. Ryan, tell them the description of this week's tattered tale.
Hundreds of years in the future, on an unrecognizable Earth, a race to determine the planet's new leader is about to begin. Join the candidates as they attempt to traverse the dangerous journey on the backs of giant racing snails.
As one does.
The stakes? Perhaps the continued survival of human civilization.
So, guys, I wrote this one. That's right. This has been written by Joe Wakefield. And the cast is Luke Fisher as Chip Scrounce. We got Heston Moser. He played Dr. Ichabod Moser. Jenna Kia Wong. She played Lexa Pond. Steve Thrasher, who played Justin McBrostein. I like the name. I got to be honest.
Justin McBrostein.
Justin McBrostein
Brosteins.
tells you exactly what you need to know. Brett Boyd played Brooklyn Cross. I played Billy Bob Newport. Once again, you know exactly what kind of character that is. It was produced by my buddy Luke Fisher, and we know Rick Lugg, me, of course, my wife, Lizzie Anna Wakefield, and Luke, he did all the sound design. So when I say that, I mean all the Foleys, all the music, all the, change of speaker, everything fun with audio. That was Luke Fisher. We want to really tip our hat to him because he basically took the brunt of the post on his back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, it's like listening to like a Star Wars audiobook. Like there's so much like music and sounds. It's so good.
Oh, yeah. We really try to take you on a journey here. So, guys, for our 100th episode, please enjoy one of our favorite Tattered Tales, and we'll get back to you right after the story.
Snails, males, females, tails, bales. All right, ready? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Snail Mount Derby. everyone, I'm Chip Scrunts, and today's race day. Well, folks, it's been an entire year, but it is now officially the 234th annual Snail Mount Derby. Just listen to the crowd outside. They couldn't be more excited.
Snail Mount, crowd check.
Now, before we begin, we're lucky enough to be joined today by the official Snail Mount Derby historian, Dr. Ichabod Moser. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Moser.
It's a pleasure to be here, Chip.
Now, for the sake of our younger viewers, can you please give us a quick rundown of the basics and history of this sport?
History.
I'd be happy to. As you know, about 800 years ago, our planet was moved through time, resulting in us appearing in an entirely different galaxy. It didn't take long for Earth's creatures to evolve and mutate. Changes in the gravity and the sudden formation of 3 separate moons sculpted our planet into something unrecognizable from what it was before.
That's a lot of moons, Ichabod.
You got that right, Chip. Well, another 100 years go by, and our planet has become quite a different place. So, we renamed it.
New Gaia? One heck of a planet. A primal world permanently shrouded in twilight. And I've seen some of the art from old Earth. And honestly, that big yellow sun just seems intrusive.
I couldn't agree with you more, Chip. It's important to remember that if we still lived in the Milky Way galaxy, our giant shell mount friends wouldn't be here today. I guess everything happens for a reason.
What would you say to those out there who call this derby a silly snail race?
Oh, you suck.
First of all, to call a shell mount a snail is like comparing a house cat to a tiger, or a raccoon to a rhinoceros Conway.
That's a bit of a history, but what about the rules of the race there, Ichabod?
It's simple, really. The candidate who is still riding a mount and crosses the finish line first wins. The other racers can use any means necessary to stop their opponents. In addition to that, hindrances can be purchased by the audience and used to slow down or even kill a racer they don't like. The opposite is also true. There is a large online store full of medicines and weapons that will be distributed when and if purchased.
There you have it, folks. That siren means the race is about to be underway. Let's jump down to the starting line and join Trish for our pre-race interviews.
Hey guys, Trish here. I'm happy to be standing with our 4 candidates. These racers have trained hard and are ready to tell you a little bit more about themselves. First off is Lexa Pond. So tell me, Lexa, why should the audience ignore you?
Well, Trish, I think I could do a lot of good. It's in my blood. Did you know I can trace my family's lineage all the way back to Z-Space?
Now that is impressive. Hopefully, it's enough to be left alone. Next, we have Justin McBrostein. Justin, tell the folks at home why you're here.
Yeah, so my dad told me I should do this. He said he was sick of me tarnishing our family's reputation. He thinks this will help my image. But I'm like, Pop, have you seen how many followers I have on Photogram? Images are like my thing, bro. So I don't even know what he's talking about.
Okay. Wow. Moving on.
Can't say that I'm rooting for him, Chip.
Let's remember to be impartial, Ichabod. But I agree. Justin seems unlikely to win.
All I'm saying is he is going to need a better reason if he wants to win this race.
You're 100% right on that.
Brooklyn Cross, please tell me you can make a better case for yourself than Justin.
I want everyone out there to know that I don't take this lightly. I've trained for years, not just to survive this trial, but for what comes after. I have both a law and political science degree. If given the chance, I believe I can bring real positive change to New Gaia.
Well said, candidate. I'll be rooting for you.
Talk about a snooze fest. If we wanted a political speech, then we'd all go back to the old democracy.
Believe it or not, Ichabod, there are those out there who still think a television race isn't the best way for us to choose our rulers.
Let's be honest. Between hacking voting systems and politicians buying their way into office, a shell-mounted race to the death just makes more sense.
God damn it, Ichabod. You can say that again.
Finally, let's hear from Zoe Keller.
I just want those out there watching to know that I'm not going to sit here and beg for their mercy. Choose to ignore me or choose to target me. It makes no difference. By the end of this, you will all bow at my feet.
Strong words from a strong woman.
I like her. Sometimes that's exactly what it takes to win. Let's not forget that Zoe ranked highest in the hand-to-hand qualifier.
Very true, Ichabod. Very true. In fact, I believe we have a clip.
Snail Mount playback.
Zoe dodges barely avoiding Val's axe. Zoe swiftly pulls a knife from her belt and slashes across Val's face. Val is staggered. I think this is it, folks. Zoe finishes with a vicious kick to the ribs. Valerie is down. Zoe casually walks over to her fallen opponent. She reclaims her spear and is lifting it up, ready to unleash a killing blow. I warn any of our more sensitive viewers to look away now.
No, wait, I yield.
It's all over. Val Reynolds yields. Zoe Keller is the champion and has the honor of taking the final slot in this year's Snail Mount Derby.
Hey, what are you doing?
Snail Mount takedown.
Hard to watch.
Indeed it is. Although there may be more strategy at play here than we realize. There is something to be said about eliminating one's future political rivals. Both Zoe and Val were at odds on almost every issue. Permanently silencing her in the arena equals less opposition when passing policies in the future.
Very true, Ichabod, my friend. Very true. And with that sound, ladies and gentlemen, we head back down to the starting line where our racers are lining up and ready to go.
All right, candidates, are you ready for the campaign race?
Bullying is not given, it is earned. All our riders wear headsets so we can check in on the action.
All right, let's go!
And they're off! But wait, it appears as though Lexapon isn't moving.
Come on.
Snail Mount takedown.
Now you see that? There is a great example of how the audience can help steer this race.
Maybe if she had added some more fluff to her campaign promises, the people wouldn't be actively trying to hinder her like this.
That's the game there, Ichabod. Lexa might be here for a while, so let's move our attention over to the rest of the racers until she can catch up. The first leg of the race takes us through the Great Desert Flats before branching into 3 possible paths.
One path is jungle, one is snow, and the other is subterranean.
All routes are equal distance to the finish line and present their own set of challenges. But no matter which route our racers take, they all must first race the dry heat of the desert sands.
The climate wreaks havoc on the mounts. They're at constant risk of drying out through this area.
The key is to make it through the desert fast. Faster than your opponents and faster than heat stroke.
TBH, I'm kind of surprised that people hit Lexa with the hindrances early. She always came off as a fan favorite to me.
You can thank me for that. It took 8 months, but I was able to raise the money for it one way or another.
We're not allowed to interfere with each other's campaign race. It's against the rules. Only the spectators are supposed to be able to purchase help or hindrances.
Technically, nerd, I didn't buy anything. My cousin did the honors.
That's not...
I know. That's not allowed either. But hey, the way I see it is, who's going to tell on me?
Jumpin' Jehoshaphat! It seems as though one of our spectators have purchased a high-powered salt gun for Zoe Keller.
Level up.
That puts all other racers at a major disadvantage.
Understatement of the year.
Jeez, you psycho!
Snail Mount takedown.
Oh, it looks like Brooklyn is down for the count.
They're going to have a tough time finishing this race without their mount.
2 down, 1 to go.
You crazy, bro.
Oh, you have no idea.
Screw this. I'll see you at the finish line.
Justin McBrostein flees to the right. It appears he has chosen his path. Justin heads to the mountains to face the frosty bite of the untamed tundra above.
And it looks like Zoe has chosen as well. She's going for the cave system below the mountain. It'll be interesting to see how well she does in the pitch-black labyrinth that awaits her.
Oh, Ichabod, I can't wait. How about we switch back to Brooklyn and see how they're doing?
I'm sorry, boy. What do you want?
Here.
Thanks anyway, but medicine won't help him now.
I'm sorry.
I've raised him ever since he was an egg. He was my oldest friend. Stupid me. I thought we could really win. I never expected to get him killed.
Get on.
Why?
Because I don't feel right about leaving you here to die.
Well, how do I know you're not gonna just take me somewhere else and kill me?
Seems like a lot more trouble than just leaving you.
Fair enough.
Okay, as the sun sets, we conclude our first night with Lexa Pond and passenger Brooklyn Cross, headed towards the jungle path.
I gotta be honest, Chip. I'm not sure where Lexa's strategy is here. Picking up a competitor like that just seems stupid.
Well, Ichabod, we're just gonna have to find out with everybody else tomorrow morning when the race resumes at sunup. Until then, our competitors are instructed to make camp and will be monitored via their GPS tracker to make sure they don't progress further. So until tomorrow, I'm Chip Scruntz.
And I'm Dr. Ichabod Moser.
Have a good night, folks. Snail Mount Derby.
Nice night.
I guess. Hey, why did you pick me up? I know it's not because my death would weigh on your conscience. So why don't you tell me what you want?
Just figured we could help each other out. Look, I'm not worried about Justin, but I don't think I can take out Zoe on my own.
You don't have to take her out. Just win the race.
I wish it was that simple, but you saw what she did in the arena. Zoe's gonna try to kill every one of us, regardless of who gets to the finish line first.
Then she'll be the grand leader. Race be damned.
Exactly.
So, what's your plan?
The reason I chose the jungle is because there's a hidden path that'll allow us to cut Justin off. We'll catch him by surprise, attacking him from the ice cliffs to the north. Once he's down, you take his mount, and we head towards Zoe.
And after Zoe is gone, and it's just the two of us?
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
All right, fine. I'm in. There's just one thing I don't get. What kind of shortcut is going to take us from this valley to above Justin in the mountain pass?
I'd tell you, but you're not gonna like it.
Good morning, and welcome to day 2 of our race coverage. Once again, I'm joined by Dr. Moser. How are we doing, Ichabod?
I'm good, Chip. Really good.
And how could you not be there, old Ichabod? I see you have a cup of our patented Shell Mount coffee, only available here at the stadium and on our official website.
It really is delicious.
Oh, I know. Just like I know our fans at home want to catch up with our racers. Let's start today's broadcast by checking in on Zoe Keller, currently making her way through the cave system below Mount Wheeler. According to Zoe's GPS tracker, she's made it to Cavern 12D. It's a little bit of a bold choice if you ask me, Ichabod. Well, it's true the path is more direct. She now must find her way past the Devil's Spring.
The Devil's Spring is, of course, an underground lake. What makes this body of water special is that the top 100 feet consist of fresh water fed by the snowy mountain peaks above. But once you pass that threshold, the lake becomes saltwater, fed by the Capaldi Sea. This strange environment is one of the only two places on our planet where the piranha eels are known to live.
Woo! Ichabod! These things will rip flesh off bone in seconds. I can't wait to see how she handles this.
Don't worry, girl. We're not swimming.
What is she doing?
She appears to be looking at the ceiling.
Hey, look. See that girl? I think I found us our path.
It looks like she's going to ride up the wall and across the ceiling of the cave.
Wow. I'm not so sure that's a good idea. Due to the shell mount's massive size, they're unable to stick and climb as well as their smaller contemporaries.
Still, this might work. At the end of the day, it is a snail. Let's just hope the wet, slick surface of the cavern walls and ceilings don't cause the animal to fall.
If they do, those are going to be some well-fed eels.
Woo! So far, so good. The mount seems to have a firm grip.
That's it. She's made it to the ceiling.
Come on. Come on, keep it steady. Keep it steady now.
Zoe is carefully moving through the maze of stalactites in order to keep the maximum amount of grip on the ceiling.
Just a little more.
She's about halfway now. Jump it, Jehoshaphat! She's disturbed a swarm of sleeping bats! She slipped! They're going down!
No!
I don't believe it! She was caught by a force field net!
Wow. Zoe Keller must have some big supporters out there. Rescues like those cost more than $100,000.
That's why I love this race, Ichabod. You never know what's gonna happen or who's gonna pull out the checkbook to save or condemn our candidate. Well, folks, that chime indicates that one of our other racers is about to encounter another bit of audience participation. Will it help or harm? Let's cut over to Justin McBrostein and find out.
Sorry about this, buddy. I know it's cold, but when I become president, I'll get you your own house. Seriously, screw that stable crap. Yeah, sounds good, doesn't it, buddy? And you know what? I'm gonna get you your own harem of shell mounts. Then your ladies can be looked after by my ladies, cause you know I'm gonna be getting some concubines myself. Oh no! Not an avalanche!
I don't know if he's gonna make it!
He's gonna have to move faster.
Crap!
It's gonna be close!
I don't believe it!
You gotta hand it to Justin. He may be a moron, but he sure does have chutzpah.
You're telling me that boy just outran an avalanche.
I just feel sorry for the spectator who wasted their money on the hindrance.
Hey, it's clearly stated, when they're purchased, they are not guaranteed.
Well, you're right about that, Ichabod. Now let's take a moment and join Trish, who is in the midst of talking to a few spectators.
Snail Mount, crowd check.
Thanks, Chip. I'm standing here with Shell Mount superfan, Billy Bob Newport. Tell me, Billy. What are your thoughts about the day so far?
Well, Trish, to be honest, I'm a bit pissed off. Little Miss Moneybags gets some sponsor to bail her out from being eaten. Meanwhile, my boy Justin's gotta earn his place with his skills. Now, that's a real candidate. I'm sick of all these hoity-toity fancy pants people like Zoe Keller buying their way through the election race. It just ain't fair.
There's nothing in the rules saying you can't have a well-funded campaign.
Money and status shouldn't dictate who rules. That's all I'm saying.
What about the other racers? How do you feel about Lexa Pond or Brooklyn Cross?
Hey, call me old-fashioned, but I don't... Justin McBrostein for prayers! Woo!
Thanks for your time, Billy. Regardless of what side of the argument you fall on, there's still plenty more race to be had. Let's join back up with Lexa and Brooklyn, still making their way through the jungle.
We are here.
What are we doing out here?
Fishing?
Huh?
Okay, old friend. Execute maneuver 34F.
Oh my God! Lexa's mount just jumped 10 feet in the air and landed on its back, exposing its belly to the sun.
Usually not a position a snail wants to find itself in.
Holy crap! All right, neat trick, but I don't see how it helps us.
Just give it a second.
That is, of course, the sound of the kaiju eagle, named after the gigantic Japanese monster that appeared in old world cinema.
It truly is an amazing creature.
Hey, Ichabod, have you ever wondered why so many of Earth's species grew significantly larger while us humans stayed relatively the same?
No, Chip.
Lexa?
Trust me. Now!
This is the most amazing thing I've ever seen! Using her mount as bait, Lexa lured in the kaiju eagle. But when the beast tried to eat the snail, the mount somehow managed to wrap around the bird's foot. Meanwhile, it appears as though Lexa herself has now climbed onto the winged beast's back.
Quick, get on.
You're nuts, Lex!
Are you seeing this?
Yes, sir, I am. But it's hard for my eyes to convince my mind that it's true. Lexa Pond has just used the saddle from her mount to muzzle the kaiju eagle.
Hold on.
And there goes Lexa, along with her running mate and with her snail mount in tow.
You know, it's a shame they can't just fly across the finish line.
They can get right up to it if they want, but the rules clearly state that the finish line must be crossed by one rider on the snail mount.
Which begs the question, what's their plan here?
If I know, Ichabod.
Well, we made it to the mountain pass.
Yeah, and there he is. Justin at 12 o'clock. Do you see him?
Yeah, clear as day.
If I swoop down low to drop you off, do you think you could take him out?
Probably. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna head to the plateau and try to cut off Zoe before she crosses the finish line. Meet me there once you take care of Justin and steal his mount. We'll take out Zoe together.
Sounds good.
What the hell?
Miss me?
Brooklyn just landed next to Justin. Oh my God. Boy, I sure do wish we could stick around and see who wins the fight between Brooklyn and Justin. But unfortunately, we have to cut to the plateau where it seems as though Zoe is about to cross the finish line. Now, with the end of the race in sight, one has to wonder what's going through Zoe Keller's mind right now.
I knew I'd be the one.
Just a few more yards, and she'll be the winner of this year's election race. Woo! What a derby! Wait, what is she doing? Why did she stop?
Looks like Miss Keller is interested in finishing this race the old-fashioned way. She doesn't just want to win, she wants to destroy the competition.
Personally, I like that kind of thoroughness in a leader. If this country is ever attacked by a foreign power, I don't just want us to be protected. I want to strike back so hard that the opposition never dreams of attacking us again. You're not going to get that kind of decision-making with Miss Pond.
You know, Ichabod, traditionally we're supposed to stay neutral while commentating.
Well, Chip, I don't work for the Derby, the network, or you, for that matter. I'm a special guest, remember? I'll cheer for whoever the hell I want.
Politics. It continues to remain a touchy subject. I do believe that is Lexa Pond flying in from the west.
I was hoping I'd get to kill you.
You should have crossed that finish line when you had the chance.
Doesn't look like the audience is going to give us any weapons.
Race is almost over. Guess everyone's broke.
Hey, I'm cool with beating you down with my bare hands.
If you're so confident, why don't we make this real interesting? How about we let the shell mounts loose? That way neither one of us can cross the finish line. No running away. The winner will be the last one standing.
Fine by me.
So are we doing this?
Let's dance.
Zoe swings a hard right hook directly for Lexa's face, but Miss Pond is too quick for her and ducks out of the way. She then counters with a swift left-hand jab to the gut, then follows it up with a vicious uppercut to the chin. Boom! And Miss Keller is down! Not one to miss a good opportunity when she sees it! Lexa Pond moves to the finish the job!
Boo! Boo!
Zoe sweeps the leg, and Lexa is knocked to the ground!
Die!
As fast as a lightning strike, Zoe is on top of Lexa with her hands around Miss Pond's throat.
Get off me. What's that? Can't hear you, dear.
Oh my God! Lexa Pond just shoved her thumb into Zoe Keller's eye!
This fight has quickly devolved to an all-out slugfest. The two candidates continue to exchange punches, both landing a significant amount of them.
Woo! They're not holding back! The scene is brutal!
Lexa, I'm here.
No, stay on your mount. Cross the finish line.
What?
Do it.
What about you?
As long as this psycho doesn't win, I'll be happy. That's why I helped you. You were my contingency plan.
You coward! You tricked me! I'm gonna kill you!
I can't believe what I am seeing! Lexa is keeping Zoe busy while Brooklyn Cross makes a break for the finish line. This is absolutely insane! I've never seen cooperation between candidates in an electoral race before.
Come on, Zoe, get up! You're about to lose everything!
Jump in Jehoshaphat! I think we have a winner! Do you believe in miracles? Brooklyn Cross wins! It couldn't be more excited to be the first one to officially announce a President Cross on our 234th Grand Leader! Holy shit!
They stole the race from Zoe. Anyone who isn't a liberal idiot could see that. I say we don't take this lying down. I say we storm the Capitol!
You slapped me.
Just shut up, Ichabod.
Well, that's all, folks. That's it. Thank you so much from the new Gaia MPCDLWY 6 News 4 at 24. Please stay tuned for our new candidates. And this is Chip Trunts signing off.
So when I wrote that Tattered Tales, I had it so the announcers could kind of narrate what would happen. That was in my mind. Like, the two announcers would be, oh, they went left, they went right, she attacked her, whatever. What I didn't expect is Luke, who went all out with the sound effects, cutting back and forth to the booth and how excited they were. And I swear to God, man, you write something, but editing comes in 3 points. It's when you write it, you edit it, is the second writing, and then it's just I don't know. I just really like what they did there. It was big. It was big.
There's something about when everything comes together. You know what I mean? That's teamwork.
It is teamwork. Like me and you getting to this 100th episode.
Holy crap.
Oh my God. And you know what? It's done. It's been a long episode, but we nailed it, bud.
I mean, like right on the head, bro.
We like to
like Nail Bunny.
If anyone who doesn't know, that is a reference to Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, which is a comic book written by Jonan Vasquez in the mid-90s, who is the creator of Invader Zim, because that is the kind of knowledge we bring to the table.
Where are the plans? I had to get rid of them. Why? Make room for the cupcake.
And that, God, guys, that's the end of the show. Thank you so much for being fans. Thank you for listening. Please leave us a review wherever you listen to the podcast. And see you next week.
Yeah, I'm going to sing the Doom song now. Doom, 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 doom.
Once again, that is an Invader Zim reference. And on that note, from all of us here at Earthling Entertainment, thanks for listening for 100 episodes. We look forward to bringing you 100 more. And
the end.
See ya.
Yes. Yes.